nothing that y'all got going on, shut the fuck up. Because that's what you just told me. Hold on. That's what you told.
This is why I don't hang out with black people.
Hold up.
I don't blame you, homie.
Yeah, I don't blame you either, man.
You don't need to.
Y'all be nice.
Bro,
Black people are the worst. This is why people.
I'm the first just right shit, and he jumped in. He's just right shit. I don't blame you either.
He's honestly, honest to God,
I'm trying my best not to mute the whole goddamn fucking panel.
Honestly, to be honest, like, he's not wrong. A lot of black people are so quick to be like, it's every other race's fault but our own.
Sir. And I want you to understand something. I want you to understand the mindset I come from. Because clearly you don't watch my channel. Sir, you clearly don't watch my channel. Because I tell everybody they need to goddamn get on their grind and do what they need to do. But that does not mean that I have to disregard the past of what happens and everything that trickled down from the past. Because y'all want to sit out here and act like, oh man, you know, white people got $100,000 in the bank account, and it just comes from black people being lazy. Motherfucker, we built the White House and we built this goddamn country. You're not gonna sit here and try to shit down on folks.
No, you
and
didn't.
We fought for the
Yeah,
The whites.
we did. He was right about that. He ain't lying. He just
Go
did.
look it up in history books. Go look it up in history books and tell me I'm wrong.
JVJ.
Go look it up. No, hold that thought. Go look it up in the history books and tell me I'm wrong. Since you want to say that dumb shit. Because it was slaves that built that fucking White House while you sitting over there talking that dumb shit. And it's been a lot of revisionist history to tell white folks and people of other races that black people are just out here complaining. Nah, fuck that. We gonna talk about real fucking history.
Yeah,
Let's talk about real fucking history.
When the world come over here, listen, regardless of the message, and this is what I love about us black people.
My man done started some shit.
I was
It's
born in
legit.
the
It's legit though. It's legit.
After Uncle, we're gonna get back on topic, guys.
Yes,
I'm about to snap on
this is
somebody.
what I'm like. JVJ, you done derailed the whole conversation. Look, as a young black man, I was born in the late 60s, and all my brothers 60s, 70s, listen, we understand the dynamic of the old way and the new way. If you out here, you want to start fresh, you got to start now. Take the information that's already been passed. It was a time in our American history, and you'll understand this. And I say this as far as us in any race in the world. They hear a story, then when they get here, they realize, oh no, brothers and sisters are making trillions. Our problem is we spend too much money on stuff and we stay here. Just imagine if you can just tell everybody, it don't matter if they get a cousin, just save your $10,000 for 10 years. It takes $10,000 more than it did 5 years ago than it does now to have the same lifestyle. So you have money, save it for 10 years. If your children are not sure what they want to do, save the money. Don't spend it on stuff. Then when they mature, yes, sir.
No, I agree with that. Like, that is a second step.
No, that's the first step. Right now, where we are for the future.
No.
Listen, we should never
You're not gonna let him save money. That's
I'm
what he's about to say.
You can save money for yourself. You can save money for yourself. You don't need. Listen, get your toys. Get your toys. Listen. Okay, I'm talking outside. Listen, JVJ, I'm just talking outside as a young man outside of this space right here. How old are you, JVJ? 35? 36?
34.
Okay, so you my favorite generation of young men. Y'all struggle with everything. Y'all take everything personal. And y'all raised with the same women. Because all y'all in y'all 30s, it's hard to find a woman. And the women, all y'all hard to find a man. And everybody stay over here. Everybody still going out spending all their money and not saving it for the kids' future.
Yep, and then they become broke.
And then they mad by 45. So only thing I'm saying is if you 25, don't spend between 25 and 45 wasting money.
I'm gonna stop that right there. You're not finna shape a goddamn narrative about me personally. Like, you're not gonna do that. Like, I agree.
All right, let me bring in our pain, and then guys, we got derailed, and it's
to that bullshit.
It's never gonna end, Jay. We got to get to the topic.
Look, can I just leave my last response?
Go ahead.
Right,
this is your network.
Yeah, look, Trey Ferg, I agree. There are people out here that play the victim role, just like a lot of people alluded to in this in this platform, like people that's on the panel. There are a lot of people, regardless of race, that allude to it. But we wanted to specifically attribute that to black folks. They just want to play victim. I agree with that. There are people out here that play victim. But when it comes down to it, we cannot forget the historical transgressions. That's my biggest point. He's talking about, oh my God, I wish somebody come in and fuck your mom tonight and slit her net off, and then everybody over here sit around here.
No, we don't, Jay. No, Jay, we don't wish that. We don't wish that, Jay.
Hold on.
You don't.
We don't wish that.
That was so out of left pocket, bro. What's wrong with you?
It was so out of left pocket that you keep playing around with our history. Don't play around with our history, because we ain't playing around with yours. That's what I want a lot of people to understand.
So do you feel they're being dismissive? Do you feel they're being dismissive?
So slavery didn't start with the blacks. It went beyond that.
And guess what? Chattel slavery did.
Wait. Let us. No. Hold on, Brody. Let us handle this. Just wait till we get to another topic. And then you jump in. Don't jump in on this one. You let us handle this one. Let us handle this shit.
I'm gonna finish my point. I don't like people trying to dismiss other people's goddamn transgressions or other people's pain. It's fine. Look. If you feel like it's just be dismissed, then anything that happens to you, don't say shit about it. Like, I want you to understand, it comes back full circle. So if you want to say that something that happened to them doesn't matter, then guess what? It don't matter when it happened to you. And I want you to keep that same energy. But when it comes to the grand scheme of everything, look, dude, I'm just trying to tell you, this country done did some shit, and I wanted to push back on Reckless's argument. Reckless, you can have your argument, and I ain't got no hard feelings and nothing like that to you. You feel a certain type of way. I believe everybody should get up here and go out there and do what they need to do. Work hard, build a family. That's the main structure, and that's what we got so far away from. But we can tell by this U.S. government that they have done a great job of dismantling it. And they started with one community. And everybody keeps trying to forget that they started with the black community. How do we dismantle the goddamn family? The black community. So when a black man sits up here and tells you that, yeah, we got some transgressions, we got some grievances against the government, everybody's been through that. Shut the fuck up. Because they ain't come to your house first. They came to ours.
Right. And JVJ, I don't want you to think that I stop at the using that as an excuse for your decisions now because we got the internet and legally there's nothing that you can't do. I don't use that. I can't pull that up as a shield. I can go tit for tat with you on history because I do know that. I'm well educated on it. It just doesn't fucking matter.
It surely is.
My decisions in my house. Does the fact that people came when my family moved out to the suburbs when I was born in 1984 and tried to burn their fucking house down because they moved into a white neighborhood? Does that affect me now? Did it keep me from fucking doing anything? No, it did not. I'm still a fucking winner. I still make more than all those fucks that came and did that. And I make more than those households do now. Like, my wealth is what it is. Those are my decisions. The things that happen fuel the fire. It's not an excuse. That's the difference.
No, you keep alluding to the exception. You might be the exception.
He's not the exception.
No, I'm not. I was raised differently than you.
No. In spite of everything that was put in front of you, your family had a nuclear core that you.
No, they didn't. I was raised by a single mom that was.
Let them hash it out, fellas. Let them two men hash it out. Don't interfere.
Nobody jump in. Me and JVJ
don't interfere
because I'm gonna debunk everything he's about to assume. Go ahead.
So now you're the victim. Reckless. So now you're the victim.
No, I'm just telling you. I was raised by a single mother. You're saying I had a nuclear family. I didn't. That's a lie. You made an assumption. And I became a man anyway.
I want you to understand something. I want you to understand logic.
We
know for a fact. I'm waiting on you. I'm gonna give you time to respond to this. We know for a fact that the U.S. government has targeted black people, right? Yes or no?
100%.
Now that's funny.
In spite of the U.S. government targeting black people, you achieved some financial success, right?
Yeah.
You're the exception.
Okay, so my question is this: the U.S. government didn't target me.
Dispute that.
Let them respond, Jay.
No. So here's the first thing. I will dispute it. So me personally, the only person who's ever held me back from doing anything in my life was a grown-ass, old, angry man just like you who was black. Tried to keep me from graduating high school. Now,
how do you do
that said, sir, that's the only person who's ever gotten in the way of somebody trying to be productive in life and went, I looked at a file, now that we have to let you back in here, I'm going to see to it that you don't graduate. That's what that black man said to my face.
Anecdotal.
That looked just like you. Well, no. You asked for the... So
see how he's brushing it off?
Targeting me.
No, that's anecdotal.
No one...
Do not interfere.
This metaphorical government has not targeted me. What has happened is I've had individual white people who make less money and are worth less than I am now target me. You're 100. I'll give you that. That were in positions to do so. The government itself never stopped me from doing anything. When I went and got my home loan, I did not get stopped from getting that loan. When I went to purchase my house, I did not get stopped or impeded from purchasing my house. As I'm shopping for my next property, I am not being stopped or impeded from purchasing my next property. When I crossed over 6 figures in net worth, no one came and took my money, sir.
You don't know
so
that.
When you're talking about targeting, I agree with you that there are errant people out there that do horrible things, and I've actually experienced police brutality from a coworker of my fucking mother's, dude. Like, do you want to have this conversation with me?
So
I've actually experienced it.
Why are you arguing against it? I'm not
because it ain't stop shit.
Every day.
I'm not weak.
Gracie, you yield it when you see necessary.
Hold up. Reckless. I'm not trying to say that it's just a swarm every time a black person walks out of their house that people are just being racist to them. But to not acknowledge that it happens. That's what you're trying to argue.
In 2024, we are rioting and being upset about 6 black men who were murdered inappropriately every year.
No,
that's what we're looking at.
Act like people ain't out here. When people bring up racist shit happening in this country, it triggers you because you want to make it seem like it doesn't happen. But
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. My question is, when I ask you why you suck and you go, well, systemic racism did it to me.
No, hold on.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Hold on. Did you ask me that?
Literally, the conversation that we were having and the statement that I posited that you challenged was people are raising useless children. That use this as a dumb excuse for why they in their personal lives are trash humans and not productive.
Hold on. First off, what hill? I've never said that why black people that are not successful aren't successful because of racism. Because you already alluded to
when you brought it up. The only point that I've been making this whole time, JVJ.
No, sir. You alluded to the trailer park when you said that racism. Well, there's poor white people out here. That does not take away from the fact that people out here have an agenda. When that goddamn plane. When that plane door came off, what did they do? Try to say that black woman was not qualified to be a pilot because a fucking door came off. Tell me racism don't happen, because that happened on Fox News. Tell me it don't happen. That's a national, because there's only really 3: Fox, MSNBC, and CNN. And that happened on a national news network. When Trump decided he wanted to sell some sneakers, they said, hey, them black folks are hip with them goddamn sneakers. Are they not playing on race? But you want to sit here. When Joe Biden said, if you ain't black, you ain't vote for me. If you ain't vote for me, you ain't black. You telling me that these people ain't playing on race and race doesn't have an issue in this country. You want to sit here and be naive, but you want to have an issue with me for calling it out.
No, you can call out whatever you want, sir. You can call out whatever you want. And I can allow that. I have space for that, but I stop at when it's posited as an excuse. And that's all I'm saying is, if you in your personal life, we can go back and forth and offline, we could have this conversation. I'd be right there and in alignment with you.
Right. Does racism and what Jay is talking about exist?
But I would always come back to that does not dictate how I interact.
I want to know, can we stick to the topic, gentlemen?
Yes.
Can we go back to financial intimacy?
The last 20 minutes.
I could do a whole show next week about this and get back at it. But the point of tonight is...
May I share whenever I can?
Yes, and then Payne, you got to go, and then we're going to get back to the topic, okay?
Get an ass.
Go ahead, Best.
Oh, man. You know, our people are interesting, man. We are very interesting people. We are so interesting. You know what I mean? That's why I'm going to just sit back and listen. It's always best to listen before you speak. You know, and let me premise my statement before I even get into it. I live in a very affluent community out here in California, similar to Beverly Hills, right? And I come from a community called Brownsville, Brooklyn. If you don't know what Brownsville, Brooklyn is, you don't know about it, look it up. It ain't hard to find. Right? Yes, sir. Okay, so that's like me saying, because I come from Brownsville and I actually live in an affluent community, that poverty and racism don't exist, and that everybody living in Brownsville is losers, and they're not. There's some great hardworking people there. There's some great people who strive to do great things, who actually live in impoverished conditions. And I will never look down on what people have. You know what I'm saying? I would never do that. And I think for us, we do this bullshit rhetoric, because it is bullshit. We do this bullshit rhetoric when we say, well, I made it so everybody else can make it. No, not everybody else can make it. There is systematic things going on that really does hold our people back. Whether it's redlining, whether it's police brutality, whether it is what it is. We can go down the whole list, but I'm not going to do that because this is a gracious show. And I'm not going to take up a whole bunch of time, because I really don't want to talk about something that's already known. What's already known don't have to be said. You know what I mean? We can go through history. We can go through Henrietta Lacks. We can go through Dr. King. We can go through, Breonna Taylor. We can go through a whole bunch of things in history where our people have been targeted and basically have suffered through systematic racism, whether financially, economically, politically, or socially. So when people talking about this or acting like it don't exist, it's just a bunch of bullshit. Just to be honest with you. It don't matter if you're old, young, or whatever. History speaks for itself. And if you don't understand that these things are a problem within our people or within our community, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't work hard, because we always worked hard. Look at all the great black inventors that I know ain't really talked about on YouTube, right? Because everybody want to focus on men, women, and other bullshit that don't matter. Or who the fuck Jalen Green is fucking? Who gives a fuck? Right? This is what we want to focus on. You know what I'm saying? Instead of focusing on all our great people who are graduating from colleges, who are inventing things. We have invented so many things out of this, not just in this country, but within the world. The cell phone, the electricity system, there's so many things that we invented, but we don't point that out, right? That's not getting highlighted. And look how many things that we invented that has been stolen from us through time. Even to this day, we still know these things go on. You know what I mean? We look at our great musicians. Look at everything that Prince had
the iron.
Look at everything that Michael Jackson was going through. You know what I mean?
Potato chips.
Exactly, E3. There's so many things that has gone on through history, even currently, even in
modern times. Stop talking about food, Gracie.
Even in modern times.
The potato chip was invented by the black man.
Exactly. Even in modern times, right? We see where our brothers and sisters, like I said, our brother Prince, you know what I'm saying? You know, we see how his catalog has been bamboozled and used, and our brother Michael, how his catalog has been bamboozled. It's nothing new. So let's stop with this rhetoric and this bullshit, man.
It's a delusion.
Which is why I want to say that in the beginning, because I really don't want to hear a bunch of stupid shit that people say when it don't make sense. Because I don't want to argue and I don't want to go back and forth. It's just senseless. It's dumb.
Okay, so let's get our pain in there.
Hold on. Let me land my plane. Grace, let's go to your topic. I want to hear what you got to say, and let's move on.
All right.
Okay. Are you landing it?
I think that was the landing.
I'm done.
Okay. All right, R-Pain. Go ahead. Say what you got to say, and we got to get back on topic. We're already at almost 2 hours.
Grace, what's the original topic?
The original topic is financial intimacy, learning how to build with your mate.
Okay. Hey, listen, you know, one of the things that's so funny, I hear all these kind of conversations. I'm older than a lot of folks. You know, Trey Ferg called me up here by mentioning the old man and shit. All of a sudden, I just happened to hear it and shit, and I punched the button and shit. Listen, I came through the 70s. I'm a baby boomer. I seen a lot of shit, man. I lived in Harlem. We had the homeless before they called homeless living downstairs. I lived on the 5th floor. It was 14 people in my apartment. I shared a bedroom with my cousins, female cousins. We had a bunk bed. I had a cot in there, and we had to live in a room with an Irish setter. If you know what Irish setters are, they're big fucking dogs, man. Mm-hmm. So then we had a crack on the wall, and we had to draw lots every night to see who was gonna sleep by the wall because roaches came out of that motherfucker that night. You know, so we lived we had one bathroom. We had married couples in there, and my grandmother always loved the homeless, so she always had a homeless lady in the front room and shit. And we couldn't even go in there. So I sit back here and say, you know, the only thing I thought about is that if I ever made it, I would never let my kids ever see that shit. When I was 8 years old, I was in New York. I had to travel from the Bronx to Manhattan to go to school. A bus, a train, and another bus. At 8 years old, that shit would be child abuse today. With all the fucking crazy people out there, they sent my ass in the morning out to school. I had to get on the bus, I had to get on the train, do snowstorms, do all of this shit. You know, all I'm trying to say is, I don't dispel all the bad shit that happened to black people. But the point really is, we need to start extolling how much shit we came through, and we're still fucking here, man. That's what we need to be talking about. We're still here. So that doesn't dispel all the bad shit that happened to us. We're still here. We got CEOs, we got presidents, we got all kinds of fucking women. You know, even though I don't like some of their politics, in big high places. We have mayors, we have government. I mean, we're just
Brother R. Payne. Most people who have.
Well, wait a minute. So fuck it. I can't say shit without being interrupted. I can't say
real talk, Brother R. Payne. Go ahead. I'm just not. You're not getting it. What you're saying, I get it. Most of us don't even want to claim the title who share our skin tone and features. See, what I'm saying is niggas keep on trying to put the cart before the horse. We keep on talking about building an empire before we rebuild the neighborhoods.
Thank you.
We keep on talking about trying to, like, you know, do something so... No, I'm just saying. We always trying to do something fantastic and magnificent. And we're not
on that level yet. Can we get back on topic? Can we please get back on topic?
So everybody else to say what this shit is doing. Once I start talking...
No, but I'm going to let you finish, Mr. Payne. Then when you're finished, we are going back on topic.
No, I was going to get to your topic. Right? You're talking about financial literacy.
Yeah, right? I don't understand why you don't like money.
I can't even segue into that shit. I mean, what I'm saying is, it's under-fucking disputable. Some black people, no matter what the fucking atrocities that happen to us, we still prevail. That's what we should be talking about. And you know, not to say nobody shouldn't be talking about all the other shit. I'm saying we don't talk enough about the fact that we overcome. Now, financial literacy. I didn't learn about mutual funds. I didn't learn about bank accounts. I didn't learn about, I was almost 40 years old. It was a Japanese dude who sat me down and talked about fucking mutual funds and stocks and shit. I was almost 40. And so I got that together, right? I'm retired now. If I told people what my retirement income is now, people won't believe me, right? Because I can live off in New Jersey off just my retirement. So what I did for my daughters, because I have 2 daughters, that I said, I'm going to make sure that I wish they would get married, but I'm going to make sure financially they're going to be set. Because if they don't get married, they got to have a shitload of money. Mm-hmm. So they're into all the shit that's out there, stocks. They got a little bit of crypto. They got a little bit of, I talked to them about real estate. And I just have my youngest daughter here, who's an architect. She just secured a new contract for her firm in a development project at 24. And she's thinking they're going to try to renegotiate her contract. She was going to go to them. I said, wait till they come to you with an offer first. So all I'm just trying to say is, listen, out of all the atrocities that happened to us, we are still here.
I hear you, Mr. Payne, but the point is tonight is to teach couples how to remain here because we are getting flushed out.
Ready.
We're not building. We're thinking about next Saturday and going to the club. And we're not buying life insurance. We're not building together. We're not building generational wealth. We're building instant gratification. And that's where we're coming up. That's where we're coming up short. And I get it. You want to praise on what we've done so far and what we've been doing and what we are doing. But we're not doing enough. We're still losing. We're losing right now.
Well, the previous generation is winning.
Let me just land the plane on this next thing. You didn't let me get to the next level.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't just do that for my daughter. What I'm trying to say to everybody on the panel, there's a way forward to what you're saying. It's really each one teach one, right? It's each one.
But we're selfish with knowledge, Mr. Payne. We're crabs in the pot.
But you gotta let me finish.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
There are brothers and sisters in this space who try to tell people the game. Reckless is one of them. He got a whole goddamn platform on telling people.
Why you think I brought him here, Mr. Payne?
That's what I'm saying. These are some of the answers. But you know what? If you want some of those answers, you got to take a little bit of the personality of a person who's giving them to you.
Also true.
So all I'm just trying to say is, I didn't just say this to say how good I am with my daughters. I'm saying I go through my whole family. I keep the family tree. I go through all my people in the family and see who wants to get the knowledge to start to plant those seeds of if even though we don't have generational wealth, we can start building them because we're still alive.
Well, we got to teach people how to build, Mr. Payne.
That's what I'm talking about, though.
So, that's what I've been trying to talk about for 2 hours.
I need all my warriors, all my young warriors to show up right now. Focus on yourself. Build your family when you can. Take all these jewels that people be dropping.
Hold on. Gracie, twin, what is the topic? Fellas, we are going to answer directly what it is that our lovely host is talking about, and that alone.
Thank you.
Gracie, what it is.
Thank you. Guys, I appreciate the conversation, but we got to stick on topic. We're already at the 2-hour mark, and I ain't reading not one name in this. And I know that everybody's time is valuable. So let me get 5 minutes, okay? Let me get 5 minutes.
You take all the damn time you need to. It's your show.
I don't know sometimes, but it's okay. Just drop the cash app, okay? All right, here we go. Financial intimacy is how you enjoy the fruit of being one in your financial life. And when you approach it properly, it can greatly reduce the amount of stress and conflict over money. Financial intimacy in a relationship and or marriage is just as important as any other dimension of intimacy, because couples don't understand how to achieve financial intimacy. What does financial intimacy look like? Financial intimacy exists when there's perfect harmony between both partners about the subject of money. It ain't this bullshit, my money is mine and your money is mine. And we have to get into the mindset of the one pot theory. I wish Mr. Hink would have showed up because he's an expert on that. Financial intimacy exists when there's perfect harmony. Financial intimacy occurs when two people in a relationship are 100% honest about their beliefs towards money. What happens when financial intimacy or compatibility doesn't exist? This is the fuckery that happens when you have two people that are not equally yoked financially. And this is why divorces end up mostly because of money and infidelity. Mostly money. Secrets about debt and gambling. 44% of Americans keep money secrets from their partner, including these related gambling addiction. Secrets might be hiding checking accounts, savings, or credit cards account from the other half. And I hate to say it, I'm a woman, but we are guilty of doing that because all our lives we've been raised to be, you have to have a exit strategy fund. You have to make sure you have money put away for a rainy day. If you do shit right with your man, there won't be rainy days. Again, with Smitty's perspective, prevention prevents rainy days.
Or they always
do it right the first time.
Or they always tell women or girls in today's society.
Everybody have to have money in a rainy day. If you think about it.
Yeah, you gotta have.
But you have to have it together. That's the point I'm trying. Together, everybody's like my dad used to say, "Hooray for me and fuck everybody else." We can't grow like that. We have to water each other's plants. But it's not like I'm gonna water my own plant and I'm gonna leave him hanging out drying. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And this is really towards the women because the women are the ones that are selfish, self-entitled, think that they all of that because they got a box and they pretty. But what's gonna happen when you get traded in for a newer model because you're not being cooperative? You're not working with the man. Now he didn't reach that level.
Women hang on. Women want in today's society the 6-6-6 rule. My man's got to be above 6 feet. My man's got to be making more than 6 figures, and that's a fact.
And the 6 pack. Don't forget the
and that's why they're gonna buy a dog. That's why they're gonna buy a dog and die alone. Okay, because winter will be coming for them, and they laugh now and they think it's cute. But I know you guys, everybody in the chat, have been seeing all these videos of single women crying in their 40s, talking about woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yep.
And that's all I'm trying to prevent.
That's the question. How many people here are married with somebody they're trying to share money with?
I'm married.
That's the question.
I'm married.
And so ask them how they're doing it. That's what
Reckless is not married yet, but he's doing it. Mr. Williams has been married for 26 years. Uncle Ferg has been married. He's married. I mean, Smitty is in a relationship right now, working shit out. You, Mr. Payne, you've been married. I'm not married now.
But we're waiting for you to ask us how we're doing it. How are we doing what you said? That's the question. You just said a lot of stuff. Some of us are doing exactly what you said. Ask us how we're doing it.
I wish I could have, but I haven't gotten through my information, and that's why I brought up people like that on my panel so I can ask them. So, okay, Mr. Payne, let's do it. Reckless, how you doing it? How are you getting to where you're at financially? So what are you doing? And break it down like you're talking to a high schooler.
Okay. No, this is cake. So I do the inverse of what most people do. Like, I look at all money as tools. I understand people think that like, oh, you're flexing, whatever. I don't flex. Like, that's not my deal. But money is a tool. Money is the ability to facilitate things. That's all it is. All of the things that we use to make money, credit is a tool. Most people don't use it as the tool that it's supposed to be, but it is a tool down to your credit card, like the man earlier said. I use credit. I mean, it's one of the things I did an entire show about it. Flipping credit. I got these checks. I get these all the time because I got $800 credit score. I get checks. I get money. It's still at 4.5 points with 0% for a year. I turn that into assets. I don't buy rims. I don't go on trips. I don't get Gucci belts. Everything that comes into my existence, the vast majority of it goes towards asset acquisition. Me personally, I'm
not liabilities. Not liabilities.
Exactly. So at any point in time, I'm asset rich, cash broke. At any point in time, because I can get to anything that I need within 48 hours. But here's the deal. And this is the thing that I learned putting myself around a lot of really wealthy people. Rich people don't sell assets. That's the reason y'all are mad. You're going out there talking about, I'm going to buy Bitcoin, I'm going to sell it in 10 years. I go out and I go, I'm going to buy Bitcoin. I'm never selling it. And I'm waiting until we get the ability to leverage it like we used to have. Because I personally cleared out and got my down payment for a house leveraging Bitcoin. You know why you leverage Bitcoin? So you don't incur a tax burden. You can do the same thing with your stock portfolio. Fun fact. But you guys are out here selling. When you sell, you have to pay taxes now. Every time you sell something, there's a tax incurred. You could borrow against it and continue to do that indefinitely on things that go up in price.
How much percent?
I'm not feeling inflation the same way you guys are. Like, inflation don't mean the same thing.
How much is the tax of buying stuff?
What?
How much percent is the tax? The tax?
It depends. It's anywhere from 22 to like 35%, depending on how wealthy you are. But
oh, lovely.
When you sell an asset, you have to pay a tax on that.
Yeah, but right, in reference to the asset, how much does the asset have to be worth to really see that type of money? You know,
I mean it's a scalable game, but like that's the other issue is we're looking at things in too small of a window.
Millions? Are you talking millions?
That makes sense. No. Again, what is the net value of what it is? Is the ring? Is the ring worth the? How they say?
Okay. So
give my example, Ray. Give my
example. In the beginning, it's a slow growing deal, right? But this is the reality of it, and I'll give you a crypto example. If Bitcoin goes up 500% over the next bull run, and you put $500 in there because that's all you had, and that $500 goes up 500%, is that still more money than what you had? Because 500% on 40,000, or well, Bitcoin's sitting at like what 66,000 about right now, $66,000. Yes, then 500% on that is different than 500% on $500, but 500% on most average Black people's accounts is a life-changing amount of money for most of you. So yes, if it's a smaller amount of money, the percentage gains that yields a smaller percent. But this is the deal. The way you get rich is somebody has to sacrifice. There is a cost for everything. You want to get fast money, you're going to have slow problems. You're going to have long-term problems. Go ahead.
I have a question in regards to your Bitcoin, and this is the only question I really need to know.
Yes, sir.
So as far as Bitcoin, it's a digital coin, right? Everything's through digital technology, right?
Yes.
So is there ever a time when I can like natural money, the dollar bill that we get, like say I got a profit, I can go and pull it out the bank?
Yeah. Oh, very easily.
So, but when I pull it, they tax me on that, right?
Correct. You're going to have a capital gains tax.
Okay, so
yeah, it's gained income.
Yeah.
So if I want an extra 10, 20,000, I know either I'm gonna trick it off or I'm gonna try to work it off, meaning invest in it or you just go party it away.
Yeah.
Bitcoin could be something probably new and keep you on the go, especially because you used to be on the go. So I'm like,
it's literally been the best performing asset, period, in the last 15 years. Period.
Okay. So young single man, great opportunity, man. Save your damn money.
But it's in the way that we look. The way that we look at it is really the crux of the situation. It's shifting your mind into looking at it as opportunity, and then you start looking at everything as opportunity. Because when you go out to the club, when we go have fun, there is actually a cost ascribed to that time that you're spending there. Like that is also money because you could be doing something else that could be generating income. So, like, I love to go out. I enjoy going out and having a good time. But I understand that if I do that every night after work, that A, doesn't benefit society, B, doesn't benefit my current family or my future family, and C, doesn't necessarily benefit me because when I go out, I like to drink a little bit. And I definitely don't need to do that every day. So I'm relegated down to 2 days, and I don't like spending a lot of money doing that because I go, this could have been in Bitcoin. Every drink that I buy, I times it by 100. And I'm like, well, that was expensive. I don't want to have a bunch of those. The one other thing that I'll posit as far as moving the needle generationally, and this is something that I get on people's necks all the time. Why are we not setting up brokerage accounts for children when they're born that they grow up into learning to manage at 10? That would change your dynamic. You wouldn't have to worry, Smitty, about
because they don't care. That's the reason.
No. It's not that simple. It's not that they don't care. It's that we're not thinking. Culturally, we are not thinking that long term. Sitting a 10-year-old down and trying to explain money and financials to them, they'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I don't care." I mean,
they're 10 years old.
An assumption you don't have a 10-year-old. You don't have a 10-year-old.
You gotta teach them young though.
That's not the culture in your family.
Hey, Reckless, hold on for a second. If I had a 10-year-old, I'm not gonna confer with it. I'm gonna just do it and shit. I'm gonna set up an account with my name on it and her name on it. I'm gonna just set it up. This is
the issue, Arpain. Again, we're going back to the way that we produce people that are borderline useless. You're giving them a skill. You're giving them a skill. The reason you do it, it's not for the kid. It's for the kid's future. Yeah, he doesn't want to do it probably. But you're setting a standard and you're setting a culture within your household.
Right.
That money works, and this is where our money comes from.
Right. Do you have children?
MP, you're good. And then after MP, Mr. Williams got to speak.
So no, Ferg, I don't. But you know how useful I am to my family? I'm doing it for my godnieces.
Yeah. Great job.
So I'm influencing not just my family. I am worried about my family.
Oh.
I actually give a shit about my bloodline.
But Ray, everybody do.
Not just the ones that I'm going to be making eventually. And since I don't have them, I might as well start now so that way I can influence them because their parents aren't on it like I'm on it. So that gives me influence over my family. So when I have my stuff set up later on in life for my kids, if my kids are duds, I'll have a pool of children that I can recruit to carry out my legacy with my money. I'm trying to build my family out like the Fords. I get it. Y'all worried about y'all individual kids. I need a team. I need recruits. I need my will exuded well after I'm dead. And I will have that one way or another.
All right. So with that being said, let me go ahead and put M3. And then after M3, I got to get Mr. Williams in here because he's been quiet for too long. And I appreciate your patience. Go ahead, M3.
Good evening, everyone. Salute to Mr. Best. Salute to you, Grace. I'll be real quick because I have to leave in a minute. But I just want to say, this is definitely a valuable topic when we're talking about finances. I was going to just add my 2 cents into it. I think honestly, to kind of set you, your spouse, and your children up for future. It starts off with the basics. Again, I hear people, I think Trey was saying something about saving, which I do agree as far as saving to get started. And 10 grand, it could get you a lot if you know how to utilize it. But again, with 10 grand, I wouldn't keep it in a bank account for too long. With 10 grand, I would try to look for some other vehicles where I could invest that 10 grand to slowly make it go up. Or if you want to take a high risk for some people, there's people that play options or whatever. And there's people that actually find little stocks or stocks that, companies that they believe in to make their money grow. There's IULs, there's other vehicles that people could actually use. But the main thing is that when you have money, you don't want to just let it sit and let the banks pretty much bank off whatever that you're saving up. You know what I mean? You want to get the most of your return as much as possible. So yeah, all the stock. When I think Mr. De Niro, I can't remember your first name, but when you was talking about leveraging your money, I definitely agree with you on that part, right? And learn something new about that as well too, as a way to pretty much from paying a lot of taxes and stuff. So learning how to be educated so you could pass that education to the people that's around you, to your children, that's going to help set up to their future.
if you're trying to get married to somebody, right? Let's say like you're in the courtship to dating to engagement, whatever type of phase. Hopefully, you find like your spouse that actually has the same mindset that you have when it comes to investing, when it comes to money management.
There we go.
Because the worst thing you want to do is marry someone and then you find out later down the road, like, oh man, this person is really bad at money. This person has an addiction to spend. So a lot of people think that you're well-to-do, the more money you make, but really it's the more money that you're able to save and to also utilize to invest. Our people, we're not really financially intelligent when it comes to that, because our people hasn't really taught us about investment and stuff. When I learned about investment, I didn't learn about that until like, I want to say like 2018. I didn't learn about options until 2020. And that was like, because one of my homeboys did the research on his own, start playing around with the stocks. But other people was doing that for like, for years, reading books about that. I had no clue because I was not financially like, educated. I had to read like Rich Dad Poor Dad to even learn about buying a house and to learn how to use like homes to invest in. But I was always taught that you only live once. So go spend 20,000, 50,000. Go spend your money on the car, nice shiny car, because you're gonna die someday anyway. So you might as well enjoy your life. Well, you know what? I wish I had somebody that would taught me like the right way, or I wish I listened to the right people who were at one point talking about stocks that I did not understand, because I would have put those resources into something that would have been either, delayed gratification, but it would have already gotten me rich or wealthy to a point where it's like, I don't have to worry about money. The goal really is to teach people how to make money work for you. So you could live, I can't think of that word, but
there you go.
But
residual income. It's called residual income.
Residual income. Thank you. It just flew out of my mind for a second. But yes, residual income. You want to make money pretty much you're a slave. You don't want to always live to be the slave of money. You don't want to keep seeing like your grandparents, die at the age or whatever and still working in the working class. Because right now, there are systems that are set up for us to fail at this point when it comes to saving. You put more money into the IRS or whatever, more than ever. Taxes are rising up, inflation. So how do you avoid that? It starts off with the mindset. It starts off with you wanting to be willing to make that money, to educate yourself and be surrounded by people, right, that already knows the game and that can help you to learn the game as well too, though. And sometimes you got to put in a little bit of money to even educate yourself even further, because nothing in life is always going to be for free anyways. So I just want to digress on that part, and I just want to share that. And thank you guys for having this type of conversation. I love money.
And thank you, MP. When you notice when I go through my information, you practically spoke everything that I wanted to lay out. Good job, sir. Mr. Williams, I know this is the first time
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I need to go also. So I want to be after the
yes, okay. Yes, I will let you go. Yes, I will. Thank you. Mr. Williams, you've been sitting here, you've been listening to all different types of walks of life, different mindsets. You've lived on all spectrums. What say you?
Yeah, this is definitely one of the most interesting conversations I've heard in a very long time, and I like to sit back and kind of see how people maneuver and articulate themselves, and it's been quite entertaining and informative at the same time. I'll say that.
And that's the goal.
Yeah. So this is what I did for me, and everyone has their own way of doing things, and I want to see every person on this panel and everybody listening to your show, Grace, get all the success that God has in store for them. Okay, I don't care how you do it. If you rake leaves, you be the best leaf raker that you can be. If you mop floors, take pride in doing whatever it is that you're doing, okay? But this is what happened to me, okay? My great-grandfather, who's half black, half Irish, owned a construction company. My grandfather, who's half black, half Native American, owned a plastering business. My father, who's a black man, he started his own janitorial service, lawn care, all that stuff, okay? I worked in the auto industry for 20 years. And what I decided when I was probably, 33 years old, I said, I'm tired of the rat race. I'm not anti-job, I'm just anti-having a boss, okay?
So you want to be your own man, or your own boss.
So what I did was I started looking for people that were living the life that I wanted to live, that looked like me. I can't go out and say, oh, Sylvester Stallone is worth half $1 billion. I can go do what he does because I can't relate to him. I had to look for people that I relate to. So I started my first company in 2003. And like I was saying earlier, my first check was $38 and everybody's laughing at me, right? Everybody's like, oh my God, you know, you're going to be so rich. It took me less than 4 years to leave my $30 an hour job. And here I am 54 years old and I've been job free this entire time. I've helped not just myself, but a lot of people become financially independent, not because I'm smart. It's because I hang around a bunch of smart people that know more than me. See, if you're the smartest person in your room, you need to go change that room and go find another room. Because if you think you know everything, that's when you're going to get humbled sooner or later. So what I ended up doing, I started going to places where I wasn't even invited. You know, if I know that there's this big networking thing going on, I don't know nobody there, but I heard about it, I'm showing up. And when I show up, I'm acting like, hey, I belong here with everybody else. If you guys want to see a little bit more documentation on me and some of the people that I've been in certain rooms with, you can go to my personal website and I'll give that to everybody right now.
I got it up, boss.
Okay, yeah,
done.
Go to wealthcards.now.site. That's my personal website, wealthcards.now.site. You'll see I created a group called the Inner Circle, and it's all about empowering people that look like us, and even those that don't, achieve financial freedom, okay? You can also go to my celebrity friends page. You'll see a lot of people that I've gotten a chance to know and meet and do business with. And we keep things really simple. You have to learn how to be a home-based business owner because there's so many benefits that comes with that. There's tax benefits that comes with that. Everything is a tax write-off. Your car note, your mortgage, your cell phone, everything that you have that you use for business, you can go out and buy a shirt that has your company name on it, and that's a tax write-off. See, a lot of people don't even know that. And so what we ended up doing was we created something for us, by us, not like the FUBU clothing, but we created something where we can empower each other to attain financial independence. So if you guys go there, if you go to the final page where it says Wealth Card Business, you can put in your number and your information, and I'll get back to you within 48 hours. I'm the vice president of 2 online platforms that's showing people how to get on the other side of money. And it's very simple and easy to do. Number one, you got to change your mindset. One thing I will agree with, Reckless, is that your name, brother? Reckless?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We've been through, as a people, as Black people, so many things in our past. My wife is from New Delhi, India. Her father came here to America with $7 in his pocket, raised 4 kids, all college graduated. Everybody's making over 6 figures. So yes, we can remember what came before us, but we don't have to use that as a crutch to keep not being able to move forward with what we really want in life. That's not disrespecting the past. I remember the past. I've been called N-word. I grew up in a very upper middle class family growing up, And I've been called everything you can think of by white folks and by other people. And even by your own race, they want to disrespect you. It's that crab in the bucket mentality.
Yep.
A lot of us, we don't read. When's the last time someone picked up a book? The Science of Success. I don't know if anybody has ever read that. Very important. The very first book that changed my life, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Oh. What you got to do, guys, is you got to get out of yourself and your own feelings and the way you feel about how things are, and it may be true how things are. But don't let that stop you from achieving your true greatness, because the only person that can stop you is you. That's the only person that can do that. So what I encourage everybody to do, and I know I've been sitting back listening to a lot of back and forth and a lot of different kind of energy, which to me isn't positive to move our thing forward to help each other get on the other side of money. But I digress. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna let everybody do them. But I got on this platform, number one, to support grades. And then number two, to let us know that we can all work together and come together as a community and be able to do something powerful. I'm gonna tell you guys one more thing that I did that's really important. With all of my companies that I own, I set up my parents as founders in my companies where they get back in money for the rest of their lives. I set up all 4 of my kids as founders in my company where they're making money while they sleep. My wife is a founder in my company. Both my sons are founders in my company. And so every time we make money, they making money and they looking in their account, they like, what in the world? How'd I do that? Because you have to set your family up for success at an early age. One thing I will also agree with Reckless on is like, okay, yeah, your 10-year-old might not want to learn financial literacy and might not want to be a part of that right now, but there's nothing wrong with you putting those seeds in his head at an early age. You have to. What are you going to wait till he's 28? Now he don't want to hear shit you're trying to say.
That happened to me.
Greeting people at Walmart. He's okay with that now. He's okay with mediocrity. You can't do that. So while I empathize with our plight as a community, I'm not going to allow nothing to stop me from being who I'm supposed to be, and that's rich as hell. Period.
Yes. I know that's right.
For me,
so with that being said, how do you say your name, Vagato?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop right there, guys.
Call me V, my dear.
Okay. Thank you for coming, Mr. V. I appreciate you supporting the channel on whoever's channel you came through, but go ahead. What would you like to say on what we've been talking about?
Yeah, first of all, the guy that let me in already left, but you have people in the comments, and also we have a person here that knows me in some degree. But in any case, about what you said, you know, if I'm not from your community, but if I was in your shoes, I would, buy stuff that can make me money in the long term. For example, if I can buy a house and then make people, live in it, and then, rent in it. So I will, in a number of years, get part, if not the majority of the money that I put to own the house. That could be a good way to make money.
Absolutely, real estate. Real estate is one of the top ways to make money. It's real estate. It's an asset. And if you ever need money, you can pull the equity. You can pull the equity from the house, God forbid an emergency or something, and you have people there paying for your mortgage, plus a little bit more to make money on the side. But the thing, guys, I didn't learn this. My dad knew how to make money and how to spend money, but he didn't know how to manage money. So what happened to me? I came into a whole bunch of money, because my dad left an inheritance, and not that I blew it, But I have financial advisors that knew I was ignorant, and they churned the shit out of my account. I mean, one account and one financial advisor took $365,000 from me.
Oh,
by the time I realized what was going on, it was too late. It was too late. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Also, you know, if, for example, you live in the south of the USA, you probably, what I'm trying to say, that if you live close to Mexico, then you can do your shopping there if it's more cheap, and then save money. For example, if you want to buy a car that is that you need to pay $1,000 in the USA, and in Mexico you need to pay $100. Then buy it and it has the same car, then buy in Mexico.
Yep.
It costs.
Is it eligible to come across the border? Can I register it once?
I was about to say that's going to be the caveat, is you got to do some research. But yeah, if you're buying property, just hit. If you're buying property outside the country, pay them in their currency. Yep. Don't pay in dollars unless they're giving you a discount.
No, you also can buy an apartment and real estate outside of the USA in some primitive or poor countries.
I would buy real estate nowhere you wouldn't live.
Making this thing more complicated. Listen, you have some kids, whatever. You get social.
I don't have kids yet.
No, not just you, but just in general. Anybody, you want to start generational wealth. It's not that complicated because we think it's too big in the beginning. My grandfather left me a little bit of inheritance. I didn't know he was going to do that. He had like 3 families, and he was still able to give his grandkids some money. But if you have kids, or you have a relative who have kids, they get a social security number. You just tell them, listen, you got to start with just putting 50. You find a 527 or whatever, 529 for them or whatever it is. Put $50 a month in there. Just start the process. This is how the stuff begins. You just start the process, especially if you're kind of ignorant of how it works. Because Google is there for you to learn all the rest of that stuff and other advisors.
You could start making money through Google as well. So
YouTube.
So all I'm just trying to say is that, for me, like I said, I don't think I'm a unicorn. But one of the things I wanted to do for just my immediate family first was to have them have a head start over what happened to me. I only have 2 daughters, so I want to make sure. Now, here's another thing. You got kids. Allow them to move back in to your house after they finish college. It's no hurry to throw them out into the world, especially if they ain't ready to be out there with all the expenses. My kids didn't have any expenses when they moved back with me. I have one with me right now. The deal I made with her was, instead of paying bills, you got to invest the rest of that money. Here's what you got to do. You don't have to pay for food. You don't have to pay for rent. You don't have to pay for shit. My daughter share a car. I just had a major repair on the car. I made her pay half because she drives it now. So I'm just saying, go ahead. I put on my insurance, so she pays for her little portion of the insurance, so she knows what it is. So all I'm saying is, all the money she's making, because she makes a good salary, we're investing for her. So when she leaves my nest, hopefully she's married, but she might not be, not these days. I want her to have a nest egg right there. And we sit down every single month and talk about her portfolio. That's
talk about what?
So Grace, you're talking about teaching people. This is what I
phobia. What you say?
Her portfolio.
Her financial portfolio. Right?
Okay.
So we go over different things, and now they're starting to ask me questions. What about this investment? What about these dividend stocks? What about this? So they have Roth IRAs on the outside. They have a 401k in the job. They have, we started talking about real estate, all that kind of stuff. So all I'm just trying to say is, you got to teach who's in your bubble first. So I'm teaching some of my nieces and nephews now, not just my kids. right? And I wish I can get out into the diaspora. All I'm saying is you can only do what you can do, right? And, I'm not trying to be some kingpin, but if I could start making the financial literacy go out and spread. We talk about debt. My kids don't have credit cards. They have debit cards. They have a separate account. They know that if they spend over the debit, they don't have no more power. And here's the thing about they have margin accounts, just like Ray was talking about. Mm-hmm. So I told my daughters, listen, if you need $10,000 quick, instead of borrowing it from somebody else, take it from yourself. Because you have them. So take that 10 grand, do whatever you want with it, because she's putting $1,000 into her account every month. So she took $10,000 out from herself. Her credit rating doesn't get impacted. She puts the money back into her own account. She's doing that anyway. So there's no dealing with banks, none of that shit. She just pays that shit back to herself.
I wish I had family like that.
You leverage. Your assets, because that gives you equity, just like people leverage their homes. So I'm just saying, we this is how, we might be 6 generations behind, but that's no excuse to be a 7th if we know.
For me, I'm a person with
6 generation behind what, if I may ask?
No, what I'm saying, I hear you, brother. People say black people are 6 generations behind the power curve because of all the horse shit that we had to go through. But if that's true, then there's no excuse to be a 7th generation because we have knowledge now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I need to go, so thank you for having me. And
like I was trying to say was that for
thank
me.
You for. Oh,
sorry.
Hold on a second, hon. Thank you for coming, V. Thank you for coming. I hope you come back again. I hope you come back again, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Okay? Thank you.
It's 5 a.m. right now, so I need to go to sleep. See you.
Okay. Have a good night. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just have to say goodbye to him. Go ahead. And then we're gonna get Queen up in here because she's up here, and I want to hear what she has to say. Love of, female perspective. I need more of that.
For me, I didn't really, grow financially as a man until like a few years ago. I just got a lucky break a couple of days ago. Because now with, the industry going on where a lot of it is online power now, where people are like YouTubers. I don't know for some of the panelists here, if you guys have ever heard of a VTuber. I know Ray does, but I'm asking for the other people on the panel. Do you guys know what a VTuber is?
No.
So a VTuber is what we call a virtual reality YouTuber, but we also are online through like Twitch. It's like a gaming website and stuff, right? Just the other day, I was sponsored by the largest computer tech company in Canada, and I will be the first generation VTuber to promote their company. So as a bonus, my friend's father runs the company. I was given, I wouldn't say a huge life-changing amount of money, but a lot of money to help get me started as this company's VTuber. So like for me, like I've had family who've essentially told me like from the moment I turned 18, I was on my own, but they never taught me any financial literacy, and I struggled for a long time, and now it's paying off.
Yeah.
So it is possible. Yeah. But then also going back to the other thing where it's like, I was gonna say a lot of the past generation, like I've always been told by family, like, oh, get a job, just put yourself out there, and I'm like, trust me, I would, but with the way society is now and how money is getting scarcer and real estate and like prices on homes have gone through the roof and are skyrocketing, it is damn near impossible for the current generation to really get anywhere. You know what I mean? And going back to what I said, like with the government, they don't care about us. They want to care more about illegals and all that type of shit before the American people. So
Do you guys know why this is happening? I mean, I know I get accused of being a conspiracy theorist, but do you really understand why these illegals are coming over here and why they're clothing them, housing them, educating them? Because the government knows that we are going to rebel against the government when we all finally wake the fuck up. So they're using these illegals, bribing them by feeding, clothing them, and how so they can fight against us. So not only will they wipe us out, they're going to wipe out the illegals, and now America still has power, because to America is all about power at the end of the day. Well, a lot of these illegals are in the age of 18 to 27 and are males. These are soldiers.
Yep.
These are soldiers. These are armies that they're creating.
And the Supreme Court justice, that one black woman, whoever thought that was a good idea to put her on the Supreme Court, she straight up said that these illegal immigrants should be allowed to own firearms and should be allowed to just walk over.
Justice. She's from Chicago.
Yeah, bro.
If you read The Creature from Jekyll
I hope I don't get a strike for this, but I got to put it out there. I mean, you guys got to see what's going on. Well, I've never heard of Chinese men jumping over a wall. Why are they coming over illegally?
Right. Well, I mean, when you look at it, though, if you're gonna instill a world government, you can't have first world countries. Period. That's why they're here. You can't have a first world country.
They want a new world order. They want a new world order.
Yeah. And I mean, no offense, Kafer, but like Canada, y'all already are compliant as fuck. So
yeah, we're done. That's why I told you before.
That's why they're not necessarily showing up there, because they're just like, we told them to stay inside and they listened. They'll be okay.
Yeah, but a lot of us are not, and a lot of us are reading, doing the research, and really learning what's going on out here. And I'm telling you, this is a time where we need to protect each other, ourselves, our money. You know, get your resources together. I'm gonna go buy a new piece next weekend. Now I'm up to 4.
All I'm gonna say to you guys is, when shit hits the fan and these illegals want to start killing us in droves, lock and load.
Use the word deleting.
Oh, sorry. When they want to delete you, right? Get ready to lock and load, weapons free. Anyone who is non-American and is hostile is a combatant. Put them the fuck down. No mercy.
I mean, they didn't make the movie The Purge for a reason.
Right?
Entertainment is a foreshadowing of what's to come. And even I just saw that movie. My son made me watch it because I didn't want to have that fear in my heart. He was like, "Well, Mom, you need to watch it since you talk so much about it." You know,
it's coming. The Purge will
It's supposed to be an experiment about people on Staten Island, but they ended up putting soldiers in there. They even deleted the lady that was in charge of the experiment.
Yeah.
Oh, and have your passport ready too, so you can get the hell out.
I don't advocate getting.
Don't expect any more emotional intelligence on that shit, man. I'm telling you. Just be ready for anything, but don't worry about that.
But that's the reality of the situation. Is like, I'm not trying to get rich so that I can just sit around here and have 18 cars and roll around flexing, bro. I'm trying to get rich so I can have the ability to not have to be here. Because to be honest, like I told everybody, I was like, in August, I'm going down to Puerto Rico to look at some property. Like, I was like, I don't even want to be here full time. And you know how crazy it is? This is how crazy it is. I had a really good friend of mine who lived it. He's half here, half in China, mainland China. And he prefers living there than living in Chicago. Because he's like, yeah, they're rude, but it's just rude, and I don't feel like I'm going to be deleted at any point.
He's at peace.
Yeah.
Not really, because the Chinese people are turning against their own government. That country's gonna burn in a fire soon too, so he's not safe there either.
No, it's Tokyo. It's not mainland. Mainland China's mainland China. Tokyo. The issue with Tokyo is they were not part of mainland China. Mainland China was told they were getting them back after they westernized them. So that's the problem that they're having specifically with that.
So for the young women that's listening to these horror stories around the world,
get your weight up. Get your weight up and passport.
No, all the people around the world prepare because it's coming.
Yes. So here's my preparation strategy as a coach. Get your weight up, meaning lose a little weight, exercise a little more, save your money so you can understand which direction you want to pull it to if you have any money. If you don't have any money, try to work whatever job you're working. Don't spend it on unnecessary stuff.
Bullshit.
Save your money.
Why is my big brother here?
But I'm just saying, save your money. If women want to go direction of transactional, you still got to be choosy about how you spend your money. Just don't be out here slinging money and slinging bad little stuff. No, don't do that. Protect your seed. Women, y'all give y'all sons to their father, our righteous brother. It'll change your life. Let the man raise the man. And then we do a lot of talking about, when we got to this age of 40, hindsight is a mother. We didn't know this shit at 14, 15. We had the desire to do it. You did good in school. You added your numbers and multiplied and read some shit. You came out all right. You learned the skills that the teacher gave you. You paid attention to what the parents gave you. You ain't complain about shit. You had your little job, your little money. Don't talk about money to people about how much you make. No, don't do that. Keep it. Just show up with it like, yeah, man, they'll see. And when you get age of maturity, then you can relax and talk to your grandkids. Even if you didn't have a father and you get there, man, just be humble about whatever you done accomplished. Find another little baby, boy, girl. It ain't got to be yours if it is. Man, you can change the world in 20 years. We talking about other people coming there possibly taking over. It's the same thing. The 1%ers want to keep everybody else in chaos. We in chaos.
Yeah, so but these 1%ers, they think they're safe until the people flood out their homes.
They're aging out. See, they all aging out. They all in their 80s and 90s. That's why they do all these little formulas to try to make it tricky and be like, you can stay alive 100,000 years. No, they aging out, so they push their dynamic. That's just part of it. They put people in certain places to push a dynamic. The women are promoted in America regardless of what it is, but that's chaos for the men. See, the men, we lose focus because the women are chaotic. Shut the women out. Tell her to make a deal when you're ready to make a deal. Other than that, go out here and create your life, man. It'll change your fucking world.
Facts.
Once you get off your mama's twin-size beds, go fucking every damn city it is till you find your nice knit. 20. You can walk around, pull your pants up, put a belt on. Chick walk up to you, she smell like roaches, get away. Brothers come.
All right, so
I'm sorry.
Let's get Queen in here because I know she's been waiting patiently. So, Queen, what say you? I know you've been hearing backstage and on the panel. What do you have to say about what we've been talking about? I know we've been all over the place, but it's okay.
Are you talking about financial literacy or like?
Well, the topic is about financial intimacy, being compatible with your mate and building together. That was the goal tonight. It really was. Okay. And we got some of it in there. I still got a whole bunch of shit to go over, but it is what it is. But the goal is, a lot of us, my money is mine, your money is mine, and we don't really try to build with each other. And then we want that ready-made man with the Maserati, the 5-bedroom house, 4-bath, money in the bank. But we out here working at McDonald's, driving a Toyota Camry with a 430 credit, and not willing to build with a man. Only 10% of men are high value men. What are we not good in? The plumbers, the electricians, the construction workers, are they not good enough to build with? What do you think?
I think people are just into social media too much, where they believe the hype. So you believe the hype of what you see. You see the chick walking around with the Brazilian yaki down to the floor with the dustbuster lashes and the nails to scratch the world's back. That's how long they are. and you think that they just, because of what they look like, they just get anything they want. And it's not true. You know, half of it's fake facade and borrowed, and they owe their life and their ancestral line to pay it off. I do believe in building. I don't believe that anybody comes to the table fully ready. You know, that's why it's the table. You set it together, you prepare the food together. You know what I mean? Like, you don't come out ready to go. Like, there's gifts that you have that you may not have. And that's what the balance is. I mean, I grew up in a family of 6 kids, dog, you know, whatever else. And 3-story house, 2-family house. We traveled, we did whatever. We were middle class, as they called it. And I watched job loss, where one parent lost a job, so the other parent took it on. But hey, it always worked out somehow. One parent worked in the day, the other parent was home, got us off to school, and that parent worked at night. And so there was no need for a babysitter.
There was teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, Queen.
Yeah, I just don't believe that, you know, you got to just come with all high value. That's all BS. Like, who walks around saying, "Oh, I'm a high value person"? That's somebody who is not high value. They living through their zeros and their dollars, which can disappear at any given moment. Because when you live through the money in your bank account, as we all know, money comes and money goes.
Absolutely.
That's the value.
For the financially illiterate, sure.
If that's all, even people who aren't financial illiterate, you know, stock markets crash, things happen. You lose stuff, fires, damages, you know, like people lose stuff every day. But if you value what's in your bank account, then that means you're not a value. And if you got to walk around promoting that, that means you're not value anyway. And I believe in teaching. I work with a lot of young people. I am a social worker. And I believe in teaching them, you know, look, like, okay, cool. You came from the foster care system. Utilize these programs. There are programs out here that will get you through school. You don't have to pay nothing. We pay you. We give you an apartment. We give you money. Like, save your money. I've had so many success stories where I've had young people come out of the program with 6 figures in the bank account alone, just from saving their money in a youth savings account, or saving their money, budgeting. Like, boom, you ain't got to have the latest and the greatest, but let me get that for you. You handling your business in school, boom, here's a program. I got a grant. Here's a computer. You don't have to do that. And I think it's just teaching financial literacy and just, you know, reality checks. You know, I've had a lot of young people who didn't want to do nothing. Then when I see them later, after I left the job, I see them later in the community. Man, Queen, like, I should have listened to you. Well, how you doing now? Don't worry about what you should have done. What are you doing now? Well, I went back to school and I'm doing this. Okay, cool. Well, you got it together. It took you a little longer. You were a knucklehead. I wanted to chokehold you, but you know, it's all good. You got it together. But I really love how I'm seeing a lot of young teachers teach kids, like, about self-esteem. There's a teacher, Aaliyah Pagnick. I think she's on the East Coast somewhere, but she teaches her kindergarten class financial literacy. They have to pay rent for their chair, and she does it on TikTok, and she'll say, "What's today?" And they said, payday, and so she gives them the money, and
I saw that.
Okay, your rent's due, $5 for your chair, and you know, you gotta pay your bills, $2 for this. And you know, it's important to teach your kids financial literacy. It's important to you know, to put them in a place where you weren't, instead of just hating. Oh man, being bitter Betty and bitter Ben. Like, really empower the young people to really do what they need to do. And it don't take much to invest. You know, you can invest $5. If all you can save is $5 a paycheck, save it. Why not? Why do you have to spend everything that comes out of your pocket? If you can utilize free food, there's food banks I volunteer at so many food banks. And when me volunteering, they would just give me groceries just for volunteering. I remember one time I didn't have to pay. I didn't buy no meat for almost 6 months. That's how much meat I got from the food bank just from volunteering. And then I would come into my apartment complex, knock on doors of families who I knew were 3 and more kids, and say, hey, I have some extra tomatoes. Y'all need this? Y'all need some bread? Y'all need this? And I would just literally bring food to the community in which I was a part of. Different family members or friends who I knew lost jobs or whatever else. Boom, I got 12 dozen of eggs. I don't eat eggs like that. Anybody want a dozen? People rolling up to my house like I was a drug dealer or something. I got eggs for you. Just drive by. Boom, here you go. You know what I mean? So I think we have to do better also as a community, like, you know, taking care of each other. You know?
Absolutely.
How many, I have friends now who have, like, you know, we live in an urban, you know, in a very city life, you know, area, you know, and they have a small backyard, but they have chickens. They're growing vegetables. And every time I see them, they're like, hey, I got a dozen of eggs. You want them? Boom. Thank you. You want any money for it? No, I'm good. You good. You know? So what do I have? Okay, well, I got this connection over here. What you need? You know, so we just have to do better, you know, but I think it's really important for us to, you know, I think we can do a lot of talking and just not a lot of moving. And I'm just not in the business anymore to just do talking. I just want to make moves. I want to make moves in silence to the point. I take people who want to go with me, but I'm gonna make moves to the point where you look up and you be like, who the hell is that? That ain't Queen. Yeah, it is. And my kingdom, we good in my kingdom. So if I'm going to school right now. I'm trying to get back into grad school to get my master's, to get my license, right? I don't need these things. I have my own nonprofit. I'm working a job that's kind of flexible right now. And, you know, so I'm just doing what I need to do to always elevate myself. I'm always trying to figure out what me and my household can do to be better and greater so that we don't have to work so hard anymore. I'm tired of working hard for other people. If I'm gonna work hard and
work smart, not hard, right,
but
Queen?
I'm gonna work hard for myself so I don't have to work like that no more.
A lot of the biggest issue as well is mainly the fact that it's every man for himself. Like, people don't just do things out of the kindness of their hearts anymore. They expect something in return. It's a give and take kind of situation. So your situation.
You could also say the opposite side of that is a lot of people expect stuff to be done for them.
That's not true. There's a lot of people out here who have great hearts. I'm sorry, you haven't met them. That's not true. A lot of people are not living like that, especially with the pandemic. A lot of people in the community that I'm a part of, all races, have great hearts and are willing to help each other out. There are a lot of people out here who are willing to do that. There's people in, you know, I don't know. I'm about to do start my thing and highlight some of these people that are giving back in the community. We see them all day long. They walk around, all they do is go by donations of what they get on Instagram, and they go and get homeless people jobs, give homeless people haircuts, feeding the homeless every day. There's people who are grinding out there. There are people who are really trying to take care of people. There are a lot of people who are trying to do good. So, yeah. But that's
you're absolutely right. I got to bring in Jay. He's been sitting. Jay, did you want to say anything? Did you want to add to this?
I'll add something, but I'll say this first. I'm surprised, Kiefer. I'm surprised you're up here. That's
my big brother.
Yeah.
Maybe he liked the conversation.
Yeah, he just hanging out, bro. Let him breathe.
No, of course. I'm not judging him, but it's just surprising to see he's up here. That threw me off so bad when I saw it. I was like, what? I was like, but no. But to add to what Queen was saying and what Grace is saying, I actually have met those people that they're talking about. Hey, listen, I got a free thing of eggs, literally fresh off the farm that are brand new, and I ate them because I know the best thing ever. And and all these people were just glad for that I delivered to them, and I was a good person. And the thing is, for me, that, like I said, the country. I'll say it again. Country folks are some of the most nicest people to live and meet in your ever lives. It's so much better than city folks, because city people are fucking terrible. I don't give a damn, because trust me, they all for themselves, and they're very quite shallow, which is the age we're in right now. And you know, what she talked about financial literacy. I'm talking about financial responsibility. There's something else that needs to be that needs to be enforced. Because this age, like I said, everybody's quick to spend it on new things, and yes, new things will always fade with time, but you don't take the value and interest in what the value of what $1 is. Hasn't been taught to you, like how it was with me and my brothers. You know, our military father says literally, yo, listen, son, take $50 or 20. You know, he said it simple. Start with 25. Put 25 every week for every check that you make out of there and put it in the savings. And that's what I did. It took a little bit longer to do that, but I added it up. So I went from 25 to 65 to 100 is what I would do. And then I realized how much in savings that I had, like the ridiculous amount that I have. When I did it, there's things I could do. I could fix, I could, buy my car. I could, I can invest in other things that I wanted to invest into. I had money for rent and things of that nature, but like I have a lot of left over because I saved. But like I said, nobody knows the value of $1 or the actual labor, what it takes to get one. But at the same time, we are in an era where it's easy to. I'm gonna say it is easy to make money now. Like it's not rocket science anymore. Like it's all laid out for us. We're in the era of social media to help us make a quick buck, or to expand our money and to invest. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be taking advantage of the times that you're in now to freaking, to use it in order to help yourself, to further yourself, and even together with someone else. But I want to speak on this one last part, and I'll pass it over to somebody.
CBN is next.
No, I got you. Oh, by the way, what's up, Canadian Born? What's up, bro? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to be here. Good to see you, my brother.
Another problem. The problem with this generation, they're weak as hell. I don't know what it is about this era, but this era is full of bitches. I have to say it. Nobody wants to work with each other. Nobody wants to help the other person, except a few good people out there want to help. But nobody wants to deal with one another. Like we are so far past that at this point to where like everybody's out for themselves. Numero uno. And guess what? And here's the thought process they have. They believe they can be the only ones. They think they can be the only one standing on some battle dome shit, and it's sad. I mean, I think there are going to be a few people out there, if you teach them well enough, that they will build with the other person that they've trusted. But I think that goes to a whole. I say you get the family involved in that, particularly if they know that other person. Like your young boy's been climbing up the ranks of his job. He's been a nice person. He's been with us since he was a kid. He's known my daughter, things like that. This is a person I would have my daughter build with. Exactly. The man's making a name for himself. And also, like I said, she likes him. He likes her. Simple enough. I would do that. That's how I would do that. I would incorporate the families into doing that. If you want to build generational wealth and building up with someone through her and through him. But like I said, the problem is we're too dogmatic nowadays. And like I said, it's a me selfish mentality that's like taking over. Mm-hmm. And it's like there's no bonding.
And they use the saying now that the weak die, the strong survive. If you're not strong enough to fend for yourself, then you will die. It's not. Agreed. It's only a matter of. It's only a matter of time. Time is not on your side, and if you can't adapt, you will not survive in the current climate.
I agree with that.
That's true. That's absolutely true. So, hold on. Let me get CBN in here. CBN, you've been listening. I know you've been back there. What do you have to say? Because again, this is really about financial intimacy, where we get a couple who's living together, together for years, getting married or unmarried, having financial intimacy, building together. The concept of building your empire together, not putting all the brunt on just the man. I mean, that's why we're helpmates.
It's funny that
what do you say about it?
It's funny that you say that, and I've been talking about it for the past year. It got on deaf ear. First and foremost, good evening to all my fellow brothers and sisters on the panel. How you doing? Second of all, it's hard to teach a mutated hyena the value of $1. I will say it again. It's very hard to teach a mutated hyena the value of $1 when it comes to relationship. Let me say why I say that. You have other ethnic groups who understand the value of the money, who are willing to live below their means so they can have more bread saved up for what they need to build for the future. I'm a Nigerian by blood. What do you think my people do when they come here? What the fuck do they do? They stay under the radar, work their ass off, don't mind working 2 or 3 jobs, stack that bread. And they got a trustworthy family. While they're busting their ass, they don't mind act like the Chinese. Keep a low profile. I just want to go back and start building homes that need to be built, and start building businesses that need to be built, so that when they're up and it's running like a well-oiled machine, they give people time to build up extra money so they can have money for themselves. When they go back, they got nothing to worry for. Right? Let's bring this to attention for couples. Why do we have people who don't want to throw out money through the window just so they can have a vacation here, vacation there? But when the time comes, they got nothing to show for because they keep wasting money like it's water. No house, no foundation, nothing for legacy building, just for right now. I got one pair of sneakers that I've been using for almost 2 to 3 years. When that thing worn out, I'll just buy another one. Compared to someone who got about 14, 15, 16, 17 pair of sneakers for what?
Different occasions. I'm gonna wear these shoes to the groceries. I'm gonna wear these shoes when I'm going out driving places.
I mean,
I'm gonna wear this shoe because I'm dumb and stupid. I'm gonna wear this shoe because I want to be retarded. I'm gonna wear this shoe because I have no damn brain cell. I'm gonna wear this shoe because I want to look cool just for the moment. And what do we do with that? We broke, really. Now let me go a little further. Before you even became a couple, you're trying to find that particular woman. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want no coffee date. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't do Friday. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want no Dave and Buster. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want a Cheesecake Factory. Bitch, please, either get a Happy Meal or shut the F up.
Then they put you on blast on social media being like, you're a broke nigga because you didn't take me where I told you to take me.
I know. And they think they know it all, but the broke nigga that you look down on built not only 1 or 2 houses, got it sold, stacked their damn bread, wear raggedy clothes, while you talk about him being broke. When he done, he don't have to work no more. You got an empire. What do you have? Not a goddamn thing.
And that's where I brought up that's why I brought back up the women having the whole 666 mentality. He's got to have a 6-pack. He's got to be making more than 6 figures. He's got to be 6 feet tall. That's the standard.
But let's be honest though. Let's be honest. There are not a lot of men who fit the standard of what was just described either. They don't. I work with them. They work for me. I see these niggas. Y'all are lazy. Like, I'm sorry.
Hold on. Y'all gotta hate this. Those same type of mutated hyenas that talk that bullshit, right?
Yep.
Will come to the motherland, my continent, and look for a young broke ass on his shirt wearing slippers at sleeping in the container going to invest in that type of shit? Really? O'Shea Du Jackson did a clip on that thing. He did a reaction about how all these so-called passport sisters are coming to the motherland. Look for young brothers.
Yeah.
Who better have a shit on their back.
Because they hit a wall here. They have to. There's no other men.
That's
and
it.
Here's the problem. You come to Africa, in a land whereby men don't take bullshit from no woman.
Yeah.
And think you can disrespect a man?
Yeah.
And you know why, Mandra, my fellow brother, say African men are crazy? I'm in African mode. That's what I wore this hat.
That's a crazy ass hat.
I know. Just to let y'all know, I'm not bullshitting right now. So all these mutated hyenas, the crackhead chicken heads, either though the two. I'm just getting started.
I thought the conversation was about financial literacy in couples. Like this is going way left. Because at the same time,
she decides who's high value.
Hold on. Let me just say this as a woman. Chicken heads weren't just born out of nowhere. Chicken heads came because simps made them. So
who made the simp?
Get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Women act the way that they act because men cater to them. Just like you're saying, these broke down hyenas. It's the same thing as that these men who say they want a good woman go chase after the 304s and the hoes in the thigh. So you chase after the ones with the BBLs, the lashes and the hair down to the ground. That's why they keep coming out. They're producing them because they feel
are they marrying them?
Winning.
Are they marrying them though?
It doesn't matter. That's why it's irrelevant.
Wait, sorry, what I missed? Wait, what was what I missed?
Understand that there's a difference between what gets paid with and what gets married.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
The foreign women, because you think they're going to submit to you because you can't get a real woman to submit to you in the U.S. Let's not go there. Don't go there.
Foreign women are real women as well, genetically speaking. Let's keep it a being. Those are real women.
Let's keep it a buck. Women are supposed to submit to men. That's biology.
All women who can bear children are real women. Just so you know, lady.
Guys, one mic.
Just relax, man. She's right, man. Why do we take this shit there, man? Why do we take this shit there? Listen. Let me just say this. I'm not off and let the fucking guys go off in the goddamn diaspora. Listen, if you want to have a woman in your life, you got to negotiate her. I had to negotiate with my wife back in the day. The negotiation's different now.
Yeah.
If you want to be married, there's a new negotiation. If you don't want to be married, just continue to do the shit that you're doing. It's not that complicated. Wait a minute. If you want a woman today and she's working 50 hours a week, you got to talk to her different than if you're going to spend all your money. If you can keep her home and you could pay for all the shit in your house with only 26% of the men can do, that's one negotiation. If she has to work for 50 hours a fucking week, you can't sit down with your dick out thinking you don't have to do nothing at home. Financial literacy means that if she's going to pay, you don't let her sit around and say, my money's my money. That's bullshit. Me and my fucking wife, she was making 40 grand a year in the 80s. And what I told her was that what I did, I'm gonna land it here, is saying, listen, you got money, I got money. I'm going to pay for the bills. The whole way we live is going to be based on my income. Because everything she had was gravy. But did I let her fuck around with that money? No. She had to put that shit in our investments. She had to max out her 401k plan. She had to do all of those shits, and all the residual money she had left, that was for her to get her hair done. That was all that other shit because I wasn't going to pay for that shit. Wait a minute, man, before you fucking cut me off, and I'll let you say what the fuck you guys want to say. You got to stop the bullshit, man. If you want a woman in your life, you got to understand that traditional today is a little bit different than traditional back then. Right? If she's working 50 fucking hours a week outside the fucking home, you can't sit around with your dick out just thinking she's supposed to be your fucking woman. What? You gotta do shit. You gotta compromise. You gotta make sure she's doing her shit, you doing her shit. But don't let her think her money's her money and not yours. That's what you gotta do as a man. If she ever comes into your goddamn fucking house thinking that she could just go ahead and lounge around with all her money, that's your fault, goddammit. You should get that shit straight before you marry her. And fucking woman think that her money's her money and your money's her money. Kiss my ass. You know what? No. It's our money. We're gonna build our family together. And if you ain't down for that, I'm not marrying you, stinking ass. No, stop. No, man, come on.
Black David, you came in throwing shots. Now I'm gonna say this.
If you want a woman today, you gotta understand that the negotiation is different.
Yo, let David finish though. Let David finish.
When was the last time you negotiated our pay? Like 80 years ago.
Bullshit, man.
Stop. The last rap for our pay.
And here's another thing. You guys gotta stop telling women that they're a PhD, her shit doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Because if she worked hard, it might not matter to you for marrying her, but after she did all the work, and for you to tell her that shit don't make no difference, it's stupid. How she if you fucking with a PhD,
here's the issue. We've been talking for like literally 5 minutes straight.
They're not married, so they can't see that.
You gotta acknowledge that. You don't have to say I'm married.
Like right now, old man, listen, old man, literally you are acting emotional right now. You are acting like a woman. You're acting like a woman.
You married, motherfucker.
I am married.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I am.
He's actually married.
I've been married for 6 years, man. It's a negotiation. You don't have to lose your manhood just because you fucking acknowledge your woman. What the fuck is the matter with you guys?
Nothing.
Alrighty then. Where's that airplane?
Your blood pressure. Check your Apple Watch.
A woman because you acknowledge that she's a goddamn woman. Stop
I acknowledge every woman's a woman. They can have babies.
No, man. You know what, man? I'm sorry. Grace,
I'm not gonna argue.
No, you're just being you. I get it. I get it.
That's not being real. It's called being emotional, acting like a woman.
If you don't know what you're talking about.
Hold on.
This is a married incel.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Hold on.
You can be married and an incel.
From YouTube talking points, motherfucker.
You got
my wife was a woman for 36 fucking years. And I had to negotiate that shit for 36 years. I got 2 fucking daughters. One's a millennial, one's a Gen Z. They live out in the goddamn real world.
That was like 30 years ago.
You need to know how to talk to them. You know how to negotiate your stuff as a man. Because the goddamn nature of women hasn't changed, just like the nature of men hasn't changed. The only thing that's different is the tools we use and the tools we abuse. And if you don't know how to cut under that shit, you're gonna be out there talking about fucking women on the internet. That's all fucked up. Man, come on, man. Get your shit together, man.
I totally understand.
I had enough. God, you know what? I'm old. I don't need to have my blood pressure.
I know.
Talk about me when I'm going down.
Old man, calm the brakes, OG. Jesus.
Let me say this. I like what Payne said, but I don't think he see the big picture. This is why when I let people know, when let me paint that picture, you understand where I'm coming from. Payne is 1000% correct. But hear what I've been saying for a while. Jay know this one, Reckless Ray know this. I keep saying, what demographic of men are you dealing with?
Yep.
I've been saying that for the longest, for more than a year. Haven't I not said that before?
Yep.
When you bypass the man of substance, structure, and order, who got a focus and a goal to try to achieve, and you look at that man like he was a bumper cut, he didn't meet the static quo of society norm. What do you think happens?
Yeah.
How many of these men that Kevin Samuel have been speaking about to the time he was alive, they women, black women ignore the kind of man and pick the I made a mistake and pick I didn't realize and pick I didn't know he was no good shit, man. Right? And the one they refuse to pay their mind to, who didn't fit the narrative, did not fit the quota because he had a budget, but he got the goal. It's something that he was working toward to, right? He didn't want to waste his money on unnecessary things, but because he was not savvy or got the swag, they overlooked those kind of men, did they not?
Yes.
And what happened to those men? They become Fortune 500 company owner, wealthy ass men that now order the study. They want the kind of men, but would never get no love while they're in middle school, high school, and in college. Shall I go on? Because I'm here to give the TKO punch on this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So when you bypass the good substance of other men who will not only build your life and carry to the future, because you don't want to build, but you want a finished project. What do you think going to happen? Why you think acting go teach their young boy to be a man of substance and not be the man of nothing?
Yep.
This is why I say when you come to me, I like to shut it down, African style.
I mean,
it is why you have too much baby mamas. It's why we have some uneducated women who don't know how to manage money, and men who also think they're going out, man, because you got a $2,000 sneakers, but you broke as hell. You can't pay your rent, know your bills.
Yep.
Seriously speaking, but the man who wear a complete outfit worth less than $50, he is no good, but he got almost $1 million in the bank. But you overlooked that, brother, because he wasn't looking flashy. He wasn't looking fly. He had a vision he trying to build, but he wasn't good enough.
He shows up. He shows up to the date in the Lamborghini.
Let me jump in. Listen.
I want to get in after Ferg too. So I want to ramble like the old men. I'm old now.
My answer might not be the popular on this. And I'll say this, and Black David, it has nothing to do with you, man. You're a hell of a brother, man. I like you, man.
I know.
Let me say this. Look, as far as like in these spaces, I listen to I don't know what generation you're in, but it's like a lot of y'all have had experiences, and you always revert back to what the issue is already there that we're facing. We spend a lot of time talking about the women who's doing this and the guy who's a shithole. No, listen. It's part of what it is right now. And that's why this financial intimacy has to begin with the intimacy between a man and a woman. And the finances have to grow into that.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't, I'm telling you, go back and forth, because men age out too. About 45, if you ain't did nothing and you still complained about stuff, you age out in the job market too. You useless goods. You're on the downside.
In which job market, Ferg?
But pretty much, if you're gonna do anything with your body, you're pretty much too old.
That is a complete lie.
Well,
I work my business is in construction, Ferg. There's no one who knows how to do anything. That's you.
My life is construction.
It is, then you know that they don't even have to give these businesses down to, because we don't have Americans that want to work.
So in some instances it is, some it ain't. What I'm saying is this: if you 25, get your ass out of YouTube, go live the life. Stop listening to dudes who ain't got no woman, ain't got no marriage. Go live the life. Find out about it all. It's women all over the world. Light skin, dark skin, skinny feet, big feet, tall, short, they built like it.
Big feet.
My whole thing is like what you just said. Like if you're no, because if you say no.
Let him finish.
No, but it's something that has to do with what you just said.
Let him write it down and let him land his plane. We can get at it in a second.
I'll speak to the brothers. Listen, and you get guys that come from other countries who had their grandfather and great grandfather, and they reading scrolls of what their history. In America, we ain't had it. We had Jim Crow laws put in our face. We invented more shit coming out of slavery than any time in American history. But you don't hear about that. You don't hear about that. You hear about the drug that they keep throwing in our inner cities and drugging out half the youth before they even get to an age of understanding. So you may not understand it, but I ain't speaking on that. We still have the ability, despite all of this, even into the 21st century, going into our next millennium, have been able to do it. Right now, we are so divided based off nonsense. That's why I say, speak for your individual. Get out, take all of this information that you learn from anybody, save your money, whether you put that shit in a shoebox or you invest it. Save it means don't save it for 10 years. Sit back about a year, watch the flow, see how that shit grow. Pull it out, play with it, put that shit up somewhere, have it like grandmama did. Grandmama came from nothing and you died with the house that your mama probably let go or your father let go because they was out there tricking and had $20,000 when she left. My grandfather left my father and my grandfather was $30,000 poor that you would see on the outside, but on the inside, and this was back in the 1960s and 70s with no high school education. And she was a foster kid.
All right, so we're gonna let Ray go, and then I'm gonna go for the next 10 minutes so I can get my information, because Queen was right. You guys, this channel is about embracing better versions of ourselves. We already know we're fucked up. We already know there's a lot of problems, but I like to bring the problem and then talk about the solution, but we cannot get stuck for 2 hours on some shit that's not on the topic. And I appreciate all the engagement, I do. Trust me, but I'm not even half through my shit. I want to be able to show people how financial intimacy, a relationship when it doesn't exist, and I want to show you the 4 pillars of it, having financial literacy, and I want to show you what things we can do to have financial intimacy. So Ray, drop your gems, and then everybody gonna be mic muted for the next 7 minutes.
Okay. In regards to back to the topic of financial intimacy, it is important that, especially those of you who fall into the average retrospect, and that's what you're doing, or that's the cap of the best that you can do, that you're not doing this alone. It's going to get real hard. And like when I say that, I'm like, men, we already understand that we're working to death. Like that's just what happens. But for the women, like once, like they were saying earlier, like once you get to a certain point, like that arduous day in, day out, like I'm still cranking out 60 to 100 hours a week and I'm doing pretty well. And I still work hard because I enjoy doing it. And then I still go out on the weekend. I still enjoy myself. I still have nights. St. Patrick's Day, got 2 hours of sleep, went in, led the team, came home, went to bed early, ran this week. That's just what it is. That did not affect me. I'm not on mood stabilizers, mental health drugs to facilitate this. Like, it's just a standard. And that's a standard that we've moved away from. But like, as a culture, like we have to get past learning how to be around each other and work together. If you're coming in from a defensive standpoint where you feel like you gotta protect yourself, I was like, every relationship I've been in my life, that chick's gotten all the game that I've had, regardless, because I'm like, I don't need to lock a chick down with money. I understand that some people function on that. Unfortunately, I got a few other things going for me aside from zeros in the bank. I actually take care of myself. I'm not a dysgenic fuck. I can protect a woman that I'm with. It's what it is. Like, being able to see the value in each other, like, just want to clarify this and I'll land it here. As far as the nobody cares about your PhD, nobody cares when you throw it in my face because I don't have a PhD. Matter of fact, I'm only a high school graduate, never went to college. How about that? I'm worth more than you. If we're gonna make this a competition, we're gonna compete about things that matter. Like, I'm worth more than you. You went to college, collected a bunch of debt, now you're throwing it around in people's faces as though that's a limiter when you're not winning at existing. So when it's thrown in that conjecture, like, no, nobody cares about your PhD. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't have one of those, and I'm worth more than you. Like, if we're gonna go metric, you can't throw one piece of paper out and not look at all the rest of them. Like, There's a bunch of stuff that comes with that. And like, yes, there's a lot of time that goes into that, but a lot of people get PhDs in useless things and they're worthless as humans. Matter of fact, they're a walking liability because that means you're bringing a bill that I now get to pay for an experience that I never had. I paid for your college experience. So I only don't care in that specific scenario where it's thrown in the face like, ha, you're stupid. I'm just going to go, ha, you're poor. And you're going to be poor forever. Like, those are, let's talk about it. When does that pendulum shift? When does that happen to somebody who's financially literate? When you're starting off hundreds of thousands of dollars behind the 8 ball and I'm hundreds of thousands of dollars ahead of you and that 8 ball, like, where are you going to save up this money? That's the only time that I care. Because like, if we're going to compare, we're going to compare as men compare, which are measurable things. So yes, your piece of paper makes you smarter than me. We live in a country where real dumb people can make it. So it's what it is. But no, back to the topic, because it is an important topic, and we really do need to broach how we're supposed to get along and get together and make this work out, because the middle class is under attack and they're getting wiped out. And that's always been a class. I mean, in all honesty, families win. Families won at war. Civilizations that had bonds that were not nomadic individuals took over the civilizations that were nomadic individuals that was just out doing what they wanted as individuals. And as much as we talk about not wanting to be traditional and not wanting to do this, and I'm an independent woman, we're very traditional in the slave mindset, except for you don't even get free rent and food now. You get to go to work and be a slave. We don't want to talk about that though, because we're rolling back at a fast clip to slavery. Because if one party can make up money and you need money to exist, that makes you a slave to the person that pushed the button. We're going back to that. They needed families then. Now we all in individual houses out here just hustling to no end, and then not even trying to get out of the bondage that we're in when we have the opportunities, because we'd rather go look like we're rich to impress people that don't even like us. Make it make sense. I'll let it go there. I'm sorry, Grace.
No, you're good. Ray just cooked Sunday dinner. Thank you for that. So we're going to go back to what happens when financial intimacy or compatibility doesn't exist. I talked about secrets. 44 of Americans keep secrets from their partner. Financial imbalance. How much one earns is also a huge issue. When each partner brings a different income to the table, this creates problem with security in a relationship, or thinking that one is better than the other. The higher earner feels like they're subsidizing the lifestyle of their lower paid partner, while those who earn less may be concerned that they're not good enough for their other half. Financial intimacy may also be lacking if one partner tends to splash more than the other. These are things that make it not right. Communication breakdowns. It's no secret that money can cause argument in relationships. In fact, financial decisions are frequent sure thing of conflict between couples who are married or living together. Research reveals that 7 out of 10 Americans have disagreed with their other half about finances in the past year. And this type of communication breakdown can have detrimental consequences, including the end of a relationship, divorce, or just plain causing the ship to sink. And then lack of trust. Financial infidelity. This occurs when one partner tells outright lies about money, often out of fear of their partner finding out the truth. It's like having an affair due to the information concealed from a partner and the hurt that it causes. 41% of Americans claim that they likely end their relationship if their partners was dishonest about finances, and 20% say the damaged trust would make it extremely likely to call it quits. So in other words, that all those things I just talked about is what causes shit to blow up, relationships not to work out financially. You can't lie to your partner about your money. You can't have secrets about your money. You got to talk about your money. You got to be honest. If you're willing to ask that guy, what's your favorite position? Okay, then you got to be willing to ask that guy, so how do you value money? I ask a guy, what's your credit score? I'm a credit repair specialist, so credit matters to me. I've made a lot of money because of credit, so I appreciate credit. Now, I don't disqualify you if your credit is low. I disqualify you when you're not willing to be open to learn and fix your credit, because you're not going to stay with me and think that I'm going to have 830 credit and you walk around with 430 credit and everything is in my fucking name, and then you can walk out on me and now I'm stuck with all the liability. Nah, you writing your name on the dotted line too. Because when you got something to lose, people would think twice about walking away from a relationship. That's why the motherfucker that ain't got shit can easily walk away. But the motherfucker get left holding the bag that has all the money and the bills in their names and everything in their credit. So that's one thing that does matter to me. I don't fuck with men that have low credit score, because we cannot build together. And that good credit is a strong foundation. So now the 4 pillars of financial intimacy. Number 1, and a lot of you guys already said all this, but I'm going to reiterate it. Saving. Saving is about putting aside a portion of your income for future use. It is crucial for both short-term and long-term goals like emergency funds and long-term goals like buying a house. Most of us don't even have an emergency funds nowadays because of the world that we live in. Groceries is so high. Gas is so high. We are actually dipping into our savings account just to survive. But you still have to make the sacrifice. Stop fucking with the Uber Eats and cook. You don't know how to cook? Drop a Cash App, like, subscribe, and share, and then go grab a YouTube channel and learn how to cook. Just like Kevin Samuels used to say, do you have a cookbook? No, but bitches got roses and they got this and they got that, but they don't know how to cook. But then you wonder why the work wife brings your man lunch every day. And he come home talking about he ain't hungry because his belly full already. The work wife done fed him. The side chick done fed him. And vice versa. I'm not bashing the ladies. I gotta say that. I'm not bashing the ladies. Y'all men too. Y'all keep secrets with money too. Y'all keep your gambling debts a secret too. Y'all do some fuckery too. But everybody knows that on this channel, I'm an advocate for men. So I'm always going to push forward for the men. Why? Because I was taught at a very, very early age to appreciate, respect, and value men. Without men, us women won't be able to survive. No matter how much independent you are, how many degrees you got, how many Birkin purses you got, how many cars you got, how many big mansions you got, motherfucking come through a tsunami, all that shit ain't gonna matter. But a man that'll grab your hand and lift your big ass and get you out of that tsunami, that's what's gonna matter. That I'm just saying. Budgeting is the cornerstone of personal finance. It involves tracking your income and expenses to see and understand where your money is going. The numbers don't lie. If you smoke weed, put that shit in your budget. So you see that you're spending $160 and you gotta account for everything. The weed, the blunts, the lighter, all of that. That's your weed entertainment. Once you start seeing those numbers on your budget and you be like, damn, I spent that much money this month. I'm gonna have, at least it'll show you, babe, you gotta cut down on this shit. You're drinking too much. I mean, we spend, again, the melanated community, and I did a show on this, spends $3.6 trillion. Do you guys that we spend more money than this country of Canada? The melanated community alone, and 20% of it we buy bullshit. 20% on luxury goods. That 20% should be on stocks, mutual funds. I mean, come on, man. We got to get out of this slave mentality. We got to stop blaming the white man. We got to stop blaming grandma. We got to stop blaming Big Mama. We got to look at the mirror and look at ourselves. Look at ourselves. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing in teaching our kids? Ray, I commend you. You don't even have kids, but you are putting together a family unit, a tribe, because a family that builds an empire stays together. His godchildren will end up teaching and be a good role model for his kids when he's setting the platform, laying down the foundation.
And
Number 3.
Are you African?
No. I just know what doesn't work. I've seen it. So we doing all the opposite of everything that will be. I mean, if we're gonna learn from the mistakes of others, then I'm doing everything the opposite of what I've seen, except for the hard work, because my family does work hard. But everything else, I'm like, y'all screwed up. They screwed up everything. Besides
the definition of insanity is doing the same shit over and over again and expecting the same result. So what Ray is doing is breaking the cycle and generational curse of fucking insanity. That's what he's doing, and he has taken it up, and he said it many times, because I watch your show sometimes. I just don't say nothing. I the one about credit, I mean, you're there. I've learned from you. What he's doing is he is laying down the foundation for generational wealth, not just his kids, but the nieces, the nephews. Then those nieces and nephews are going to have kids, and their kids are going to have kids, and that's how these other folks have old money. Okay? We can't even pay for our fucking funeral and gotta go on GoFundMe. How embarrassing. Do you guys not feel embarrassed when y'all see that shit? That the family has to go to a GoFundMe, but you're driving a Mercedes, okay? You got all Gucci and Louis Vuitton, but you can't even afford your own funeral. My dad bought 4 plots. When he got married to my mom and had us 2 kids, he bought 4 plots right away. So right now, I don't even have to worry about where I'm going to be buried, because I already got it. You know what I'm saying? I already got it for my son, because my mom decided to get buried in Dominican Republic. God bless her soul. So my son got it then now. I mean, that's planning for the future. I don't even have to worry. But now I have to buy something for my son's family and keep it going and not have him going crazy. I have life insurance on my son since he was 7 years old. Because you never know. I have a black son. He could just be walking down the street and God forbid something happens. So the third pillar is investing. It's all about creating and growing the wealth you need to enjoy a financially secure and happy future. It's about putting your money into something. It's the process of using your money to earn more money. It involves putting your savings into assets, not liabilities, not bundles, not Jordans, not PS5s, not frivolous shit that's not going to make money for you in the future for you and your family. And we have to do stocks, bonds, real estate. And number 4 is assets. When we talk about personal finance, assets are anything that you can convert into money. Houses, stock bonds, mutual funds, cars, shit. Your grandma's silverware that's been passed down for generations. Assets are things that can be turned into money, liquid money. But we don't get that. We're too busy trying to impress the Joneses, trying to make My dad was a millionaire. He used to wear New Balance, jeans from Kmart, and flannel shirts. Nobody knew he had money, but when he was out there and he had to step out and show out, then it would come out. But at his everyday look, that man looked raggedy as fuck. But no one would ever know. And he always used to tell me, stay humble.
Didn't I say that?
Stay humble. And I learned that lesson when I was 13 years old. He told me one day, Grace, my responsibility to you is clothe you, feed you, house you, educate you. And that's really it. Everything else is fucking gravy. So since you want to act like a spoiled bride, it seems like I created a monster. I came home my room was upstairs. We lived in a mansion. I had a library, a living room, an outside porch. I was the only child because my brother went to college. So I was living I had a refrigerator, VCR. I didn't have to leave my room for nothing. I would drop my uniform on the floor. The maid, by the time I got out the shower, my uniform was pressed and ironed for the next day. Dang. But you know what he did? I came home one day. He left me just a mattress, took the door off the hinges, and a lamp with no lampshade. For 6 months, he took everything. I mean, that shit just, you don't understand what it did to me. He was trying to prove to me that everything I do, I work hard for, and I do it because I want to, not because I have to. Mm-hmm. That entitlement and that brattiness that I had in me, oh, he took that shit out. He took that out. And I'm like, Dad, the door? You took the door off the hinges? I don't have no privacy. He's like, you don't get no fucking privacy. You don't pay no bills here. And nobody goes upstairs. You're the only one upstairs. So what kind of you got your bathroom door? Close your bathroom door. I mean, my dad was a tough Sicilian guy. He didn't play. But you know what? I will never forget the feeling when I had to come home and go sleep on a mattress on the floor. I mean, it was a California king, you know, but the fact remains that it was on the floor. But and this is what I'm talking about. What was that?
Is he alive?
No, he passed away in 2003.
I wanted the autograph. That's why.
So now that I've talked about all this, I got some solutions. Let's talk about solutions, guys. Now we've been spending hours and hours going back and forth. As usual, we preach here at Embrace the Grace that it's about having the real, hard, and uncomfortable conversations. That's the shit y'all gotta do while y'all in the dating phase. Just like Smitty was saying, you gotta ask those questions early on. You gotta vet that woman. You know, I had a gentleman last week who said, fuck bitches. I didn't got with 3 of them and they all took money from me. I turned around and said, well, wait, have you taken accountability for the hyenas that you've chosen? You can't blame all women. Look at who you're attracting and who you're choosing. Maybe you made it easy for them to take your money. But so at the dating phase, just getting to know each other, this is a great time to learn a little bit more about the other person. Ask subtle questions to judge their views on finances. So, hey, how do you value money, Ray? Do you find out if you share similar beliefs and financial aspirations? Look for the red flags. Do they like to party? Do they like to blow money on stupid shit? Do they spend the light bill money on a bundle? You know, you got to see those things early on. You can't cry about some shit that you know you saw, but you were blinded by the box or her looks, and vice versa. You can't be blinded by the tall, dark, handsome guy, and you knew he wasn't shit. You know, you can't expect gold from a freaking lemon. It just doesn't work. Now, when you guys move in together, now things are getting a little bit more serious. The next step when moving together, this is a big money decision. Are we renting or are we buying? Are there these are the times that you guys, before you move in, you got to have these conversations. Sit down and discuss your money management plans. Ideally, this real conversation should happen before you officially move in. How will the bills be split? Will we have joint accounts? Will the rent be split 50-50? Or does each one pay portion based on their salary? These are conversations you have to have before. But everybody's thinking with their dicks and their box and their emotions versus logically and looking at the future. We have a very bad habit of looking at the trees in front of us, but we don't look at the whole forest. And then we want to fucking cry when the forest is up in flames. And I'm not going to show empathy for you because I'm going to ask you, well, did you see the red flags? Did you know she was like this? Did you ask him about this? No. Then that's your bad. That's your fucking bad. There is no right or wrong answer. The point is to have the real discussions to ensure that y'all on the road to financial compatibility and that you're comfortable with the plan. Okay, buying a house together, that's the next step, is often the next stage of living together. It has gone well. Financial intimacy here means discussion of how you afford a down payment. for your first house. Well, each save 50%. Whose name is the property going to be in? Typically, this would be joint. Discuss how the mortgage will be split regularly, monthly bills, and maintaining the property. Are you both committed to saving money towards home repairs and cosmetic updates? Or would one rather spend the money on expensive vacations and status purchases such as a brand new car? And this is why it's so freaking important to know and understand a person's financial motivation when you're dating them. Not after the fact. It's too late then. And it's funny that I put getting married last because that's how it was actually listed in my research. Don't you guys think it should have been getting married first? But in the world that we live in today, it's dating, moving in, getting the house, and then getting married.
Yeah,
that's fucking ass backwards in my book. But we living in a different world. You date, you court, you get engaged, you get married, you live together, you buy a house after maybe living together for a couple years, and then the children come. But you see how backwards it was? Yep. Planning a wedding and a honeymoon can be expensive, although it doesn't always have to be. Before getting carried away with a dress and a venue and all the other wedding bullshit, have the real conversation about how much you'll plan to spend on your special day. The cost of your wedding is only one aspect of marriage worth being financially intimate about. Consider having the conversations of possibly signing a prenup as well. I hate when people get offended about signing a prenup because a person has a right to protect what they're bringing to the table. You didn't work for that shit. Of course I made my ex-husband sign a prenup because my dad was the one that worked all his life for that, to make sure that all his kids were taken care of. You think I'm gonna have him just take half of my shit? So I empathize with the men. It's not fair. And most women become millionaires and rich because of a man. Whether it was inheritance or through a divorce or because of the lifestyle that they're giving them. There are very few there. I'm not bashing women. There are self-made women millionaires, but very, very few and far between. Most millionaire women are because of the result of their husband or man that they were with. Let's keep it motherfucking real. Okay? If we're going to do anything else tonight. So it may seem unromantic as to put the focus at the end when the marriage has yet to begin, but fuck that. Where one or both partners have significant financial assets, a prenup agreement offers extra protection. It does. Ray got family he got to take care of. He think he gonna marry some lady and gonna take half of everything when he's got shit set up for his nieces and his nephew and his godkids? No.
Nope.
So don't ever let a person deter you from signing a prenup. You're protecting yourself. What it really is okay. I'm gonna break it down real simple. Let's say you have $1 million before the wedding date. And then at the divorce, you have $3 million. She can't touch that $1 million that you brought to the table before getting married. She's entitled to the $2 million that was accrued throughout the course of the marriage. And that's fair because Ray did his work before I brought that $1 million. Why should she get some of it? So you popped out a couple babies? That's what the fuck you're supposed to do. That's what you built for. I mean, I don't get the thought, I gave birth to his children. That's what you're supposed to do as a woman. Just like he's supposed to provide and protect. But we make such a big deal. We don't get a gold star for doing shit we're supposed to be doing. We get a gold star when we go above and beyond and we do the right thing and we help our mate grow. Not take and take and take. And people with money, they gotta realize when they're being used and taken advantage. A lot of people with money usually have good hearts and they do get used and abused. But it comes a time where a lot of people are saying, fuck that. Help yourself. I don't give money to the homeless. I'll go and buy them food. Because you're going to turn around and buy cigarettes and liquor and all that bullshit. I will go to the store with you, buy you a loaf of bread, a pack of ham, a pack of cheese, some mayonnaise, a 6-pack of soda, and some ding-dongs. And you good. I know I did my part, but if I give you money, I know you're gonna. I don't know what you're gonna do with it. Maybe I shouldn't be so caught up with that, but it matters because I work hard for my money. And if you're just gonna go blow it on some drugs and some alcohol, then I gave you my money in vain. But I will help. Okay, I've said enough. I need a break. So whoever wants to jump in and whatever I said, go ahead, jump in.
I got something to say.
Go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead, Canadian born.
What you just said right now, a lot of us we have think on that before, and we were told that we are lame, that we were born.
Yep.
This is why I firmly believe for the young generation to renew their mindset and their ideology and their philosophy about what money really is. That's number one. Stop trying to compete or be competitive based on your look. That is not needed. If you have one piercing, let it be one piercing for the whole entire year. Find a way to get into smart investment. Figure out how.
Yeah, I got him.
Okay. And I'll be finding kids who parents was lucky enough to teach their parents, lucky enough to teach them to invest. There was a boy in Brooklyn, New York, a couple of years back. He was only 14, he was on the news. His mom told, don't kind of buy the next Jordan or Nike. Buy the stock of the company. Boy is 14 years old, and his stock was over $140,000. He hadn't graduated from high school yet. And I be saying it on the street, not on social media, on the street. Why are black people so stupid with money? Why is that?
Wait, what's the question?
Do you want to answer to that? Because I can give you the answer.
I know you'll give me the blunt answer.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not the blunt answer. It's historically what happened. I mean, most of the time, at least through the era where racism was legal here, those people who established and set those things up, and the people who were in charge of stuff, and the people who were actually building things, they killed them. Like, that happened. That's an actual thing. That's the reason I told you when I talk to people about finance, I'm like, no one's going to tell you. And most likely you come from generations of people who just didn't know shit or got scared out of the shit that they knew. So they stopped. That is factual. What I'm saying is, in 2024, you do have the internet. You have ChatGPT. How do I not be a brokey? That's a legitimate question now that can be answered in many a fashion. You got people like myself. You got people like Wall Street Trapper. You don't like us. You got Anton Daniels. You don't like us. You got Richard Fain with his busted ass advice. You don't like him. There's a bazillion other people that are given game on here. And I'll tell you this. The only difference in finance is the amount of efficiency and efficacy. But all of it works on some level. Like, you gonna move from here to somewhere that's ahead of where you're at doing anything more than just going out and mindlessly consuming and burning up every free dollar that you have. Everything's better than that. It's just down to who you like talking to. Like, look, y'all don't listen to me. It does not matter. I own stuff in the real world. Like, I don't care. It's no sweat off my back. I don't wake up any more broke tomorrow than I am right now. My trajectory is going one fucking direction. So I don't care if you listen to me. Like, I really don't. Like, it does not affect me. I don't live here. I really don't. So, but listen to somebody. Like, you should do something, because complaining at the bottom, and I can agree with people who are like, the system should change. 100% correct. But it has a little bit more credence when I say it than somebody who's got ashy knuckles and is broken, scraping two pennies together, talking about, oh, we got to change the system for me. Like, no, if you suck at this is the easiest system in existence on this planet right now that needs to change. This is the easiest one. There ain't nowhere else you're going to go and have the ability afforded to you to navigate through from a socioeconomic standpoint the way that we do in America. So if you suck at this, you for damn sure gonna suck worse at any other system that we make.
That is facts. And I'm glad you said that because I remember I came on your platform and I talked to you about this thing because I was trying to make sure I get back on my 2 feet. And I think I shared this story with you before, how somebody back in 1990 when I was going to college, he showed me something that shocked me. This guy, his whole outfit didn't worth more than $20. I followed the guy to the bank. He drew out some money. He showed me something. This dude have over 90 grand in his account for going to community college. And he told me he paid his mom and dad rent. And had his own place. No financial aid, no student loan, nothing. He paid out of his pocket and he had that much money. I asked him how he did that. He said, I don't waste money on things I don't really need.
Yep.
If you've been to New York City, great know New York City, Brooklyn, they have Williamsburg. We call the hippies.
Yep.
They just like, I think they're bums, but they got bread hidden. I want to look like a hippie and have my bread hidden and trying to compete with these bunch of mutated hyenas and pack their chicken head and these simp gods and their followers. I want to do that instead than be these people. So like I said before, there are people who have substance, who are taught value of what the dollar really is. They want to make something great. But for some apparent reason, they got shit on by women because they don't want to waste money.
Yep.
If you look at the rest and spend $300, no, I ought to spend $40. Man, you cheap as hell. But that cheap butter, later on, it's a Fortune 500 dude, and I want to kiss his ass. And when Kevin would do what he did. Kevin said what needed for a bunch of mutated hyenas who don't want to listen. I'm saying it because if you pass the age of 18, you need no mercy. I'm sorry. I'm being bare knuckle, straightforward, serious. If you pass the age of 18 and you skip classes, not want to listen to the professor nor the instruction giving the class because they're giving you a game because you think that was lame and you screwed up, you deserve no mercy at all. Period. I'm saying it for a reason because I've seen it for more than 3 decades. When there are people who don't want to wait, they want to stack their money and do something way productive, and they get shitted on, ridiculed, drink pour on them because they didn't have the flashy outfit and then some. But yet, time passed by, that same person you shit on, you disrespect, and do all type of bullshit. All the time he got a nice, are you trying to figure out how he got there? No. You don't deserve the mercy. You need a wake-up call. You effed up because you were stupid as fuck. People were trying to warn your ass. You refuse to freaking listen. That's why you came out for the baby mama factory and produced all these unnecessary kids. Because why? You don't know what you're talking about. I was taught the same thing. Either you listen to corrections or you be a fool. Choose one.
Okay, I'm gonna go. And I don't know, man. It's, shout out to all. I don't
tell me, but you gotta get to a point where these people get into it, you gotta stop kissing their ego. Tell them the unfiltered truth. You need to calm your ass down and reevaluate what are you doing. If your philosophy is not helping you and keep doing the same thing over and over, then you need to change it.
But right now, we're not at it's a woman's fault or a man's fault. It's at a my fault.
It's an ideology issue.
No, because when I look at what I'm seeing, more than half the brothers are sexless and childless. That's a good number to me. I take 50% of brothers, but that 50% of brothers have to branch outside of what they know. Their world they'll be the most sought after brothers in the world. However, living in America,
right now,
it's not about the women, because the women, listen, and I used to say this when I used to work in the social service. Shout out to my sister in the social service. despite what goes on, the women have to stay with the child. Your child, somebody else's child, your cousin's child, whatever. Now, the unfortunate thing is, women are always hypergamous. And we get a lot of that because the women, if you look at it, the women need the fathers more than anything. They need the fathers more than anything when they transition. But here we are 25 years later, you know, because to me, I didn't see, it was numbers. It's like every number that's over 50% now was down into 15, 20% as far as the community. As far as financial literacy, people were owning homes and cars. Both parents made $40,000, $35,000. When I was working, it was $3.35 minimum wage, and I was able to save $300-400 a month. And I love to shop. I didn't shop for a name. If it wasn't real leather, I didn't buy it, but I knew how to shop. But the problem is people don't take care of the little stuff they got. If you work for it, take care of it. Show some representation. And it's not about the women, because the women are doing what they have to do. And what I'm saying is, if you're a young man or young women, this is the greatest time to start focusing on yourself. If you have children and you know you were slow in school, teach your children how to read because they can help you. They'll grow independently. Teach them math and numbers. Like the brother say, teach them math and numbers because that's the way of the world. Math and numbers travel the world. If you can do math, you can live in the world. Stay off with the nonsense. If you want to do some social media, do some current events. Go look up what's going on in not just other states, but in other parts of the country. Do some current events and have events with your family. Start doing the basics, eating at the table with your son or your daughter. You running around with your girlfriends, spending up all their school money with your friends. Guys, you just running around gambling and buying your games with your friends. Why not get your son to eat pizzas on Wednesday? Just anything, man. He look just like you. You just mad at the mama. Get her out your picture. Get her out your picture because you can't find your other queen looking back at her. You look for yourself, man. It's the greatest time, I'm telling you. We watching this stuff pass us right by. Our future's at stake. If you're an individual, secure yourself in the world over the next 3 to 5 years, because by the time this next election is over with, I don't care who's in office. They both slapping us with their Johnsons. Both sides. Both sides. Because we giving opportunities away. Young black folk, you have to find a way. You live in America, you have options. You only got so many. The new option is now YouTube and entrepreneur. But we've always been self-independent. Like Greg said, her father taught us some skills and she listened and she got it. That's the unique thing, because everybody's talking about going back to the father. The men, the brothers had 4 generations of business owners in his life. He understands that. A lot of brothers don't. But brothers come to that understanding when they realize we're in the world by ourselves. Save your fucking money. 6 months, 8 months, you can buy stuff, invest it, but get the money to invest by saving first. Is all I'm saying. Women, learn how to become self-sufficient. It's like, go back to home ec. Women, learn how to sew and keep your kids fresh, not fresh and clean, but keep them clean. Focus on your child. Y'all got geniuses over. You can't spend all that money on yourself every month. Y'all spending $2,000 and $3,000 on looking cute with your sweaty, stinky feet and drinking too much. You filling up the hospitals and health when y'all the most beautiful and dynamic. Take off the wigs. That'll save you about $15,000. Out with the BBLs, just work out. You can't get a BBL and sleep with the same dudes. It makes no sense. That's just ass backwards. That's all I'm saying. You put money in your ass, then you're going back. But y'all can change all this. You have to be willing to make a deal with each other going into the future. If they say the wealth is going to be a zero, shit, we halfway there. If you want to live the next 25 years of your life crying about money that you never worked for, if you don't go out and try to find something, you're going to be poor and broke. And it's just going to be the way it is. You're going to always get the second best. And you got to live in the worst neighborhoods. And your children are too. But if you don't want that, take the advice that people give you. Go do the research, try it out, write it down. Tell your slow kids to read it out loud to you. And then he'll become a better reader. You won't be a third grade reader. Don't be quick to give your kids some medicine when the school stay. No, take your kid to the park and let him run that shit out. You'll be a greater. Listen, we gotta find a way to, this is my last thing, Greg. We gotta just find a way, basically, to work together, save and build a house together. But, you know, shit, when all said and done, they're gonna try to snatch it away from you anyway. So, brothers, do your thing, keep yourself pure. No robbing, stealing, treating people, places and things with respect. Women do the same. Save your money. Give your sons to their father. Watch your world change. You'll be strong as hell. Men gonna raise men. I digress.
Do you guys have anything else to add on the little segment that I said? And if not, we're going to go into our final thoughts. Does anybody have anything else to say?
I do.
Oh, it would perfect.
Okay, go ahead.
Now let the brothers cook, both of them. Appreciate both the insight. Oh man. Oh man. One of the first things I'm gonna say is, listen, and guys, I'm sorry, I'm a little tired. Like I said, I work 2 jobs, so you know what it is, and I study. So it is what it is. I'm putting in that work. But let me just say this correctly. First off, for all men, I'm gonna say this because I ain't gonna lie, because what Grace was spitting was actually facts. I ain't gonna lie what she was saying. That shit I would do that shit to my daughter, because she ain't gonna be growing up spoiled. And because I'm a military like father-esque to teach his sons, listen, girls do this, boy do this. And that's what the fuck you're responsible for. That's what you cover your own ass over. That's where I can throw you over the rug over. I learned that shit too. So yes, and the thing is, it's to teach you that you don't get anything in life by, nobody gives you anything in life for free. You got to work for that shit. And as a man, you have obligations. You have things that you need to build. You have things you have to take care of. You have more pressure on you than your lady, because you're taking care of her and your offspring. And that's something that you can't dilly-dally, that you can't pussyfoot. You gotta be locked in. I ain't gonna say 24/7. I'm gonna say 3460, 365. You gotta have your, like I said, you gotta have your wits on every time, and you gotta be able to take care of both her and the kids. Like both, I won't say issues, but you have to take on that responsibility of both of them. So it's not so don't treat it as if like it's a game, because like my man above me right here, I plan on being all that. And the thing is, because I'm I don't know, for some reason I'm just built to deal with that responsibility, and I don't take it very lightly at all. I take it as like, this is an everyday thing. I don't get days off. And the best thing, like I said, the best thing my lady could do for me is do what she's doing, and then I take care of what I gotta take care of. Like I said, you're easing each other's burdens on stuff that you're not. I'm not gonna say, men, let's be real, you can't do everything. Ladies, let's be real, you can't do everything. So you rely on one another to take each other for those deficiencies that you each have. That's why I said, if my girl's good as accounting, I'll let her handle that shit. That's one less thing for me to worry about and have to take care of. And then, yes, that would be a talk that we would have. I'm like, sweetheart, you better at math than me. I'm gonna let you take care of it. Listen, I'm gonna let you take care of them counts, all right? And we gonna have a talk, or we gonna have a review every Friday. Every Friday night we gonna talk. I'm like, about that. That's how I would do that, just to shut that shit down. Because guess what? Now that she's involved, she knows that you trust her fully enough to take on that responsibility. And it ain't something like, oh, I'm keeping her in check. Like, no. She's keeping us in check to make sure that we don't fumble. So that's why I said this. So Grace, that's a little thing that you can add right there about the whole working together and not, my money, our money shit. It's ours. That's an example of working together and not keeping the woman out of the loop, and actually not keeping secrets, because that actually helps her keep. Like I said, she knows how much she'll have to spend for groceries while I'm at work. She didn't gotta call me and let me know that. Like, sweetheart, you got it. I already know, and you've already written it down how much you used and how much I made this week, how much we're saving. So I'm like, hey, I'll be like, babe, I just put down $1,000 in for that extra check of ours, so we good. So we should be good for that vacation we plan on going to a year from now. Things like that. Or I put in extra money for the for the kids' degrees, for when they get ready to go to college and things like that. I already put in money for that. Because that's something that's going to come out of my personal check for them. Not for hers, for me. I'm doing that. That's my present for them for when they get out of high school. I'm going to pay for their college and tuition, and they're going to pass. Simple enough. That's what I'm going to do. So, like I said, so when you're both working in tandem like that, y'all pretty much unstoppable.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Then you become equally yoked. And nobody's better than the other, and we're all building together. So we're gonna go around the panel. We're gonna give our final thoughts. I'm gonna give it to Queen if she's still there. Ladies first. Then we'll go to Unc. Then we'll go to Jay. Then we'll go to you, sir, and we'll finalize with you, Ray, because you've been the star of the show, and you hung in there with me for freaking 4 hours. And then of course I'll go last. And we'll call it a night because I got to do a 8:45 to 9 tomorrow. So it's going to be a long day for me. Yeah, it's going to be a long day for me. But it's funny. I was just going through my drawer. Look, credit card. If I ever get into a jam or an emergency, you see what I'm saying? I got assets here. When somebody gets and they need a bond, I gotta get them out of jail. Boom, I'm good. Put it on the plastic. You gotta pre-plan for bullshit, for family's bullshit, for your friends' bullshit, because you just never know. Your car break down. I tell people all the time when I fix their credit, especially single women, get yourself a credit card with $1,000 credit limit. So if you need to get your car fixed, because that's the source to your income. Mm-hmm. You can get it fixed instead of not going to work for 2 weeks. But you see, a lot of us don't think like that. Oh, I'll take an Uber. Okay, so you'll spend $20 a day while you're trying to make 60. I mean, what are we doing? What are we really doing? What are we doing? But anyway, with that being said, Queen, are you there, baby girl?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead and give me your final thoughts with everything you've heard, and I do appreciate you clapping back because I need that more from females on this channel. That was good. I appreciated that. We all got to take accountability for our foolery.
I would just say every topic doesn't need to turn into man versus women. I mean, life is too short. We all have fuckery in our genders. We all have issues. We all have dummies, idiots, thought holes, whatever. We do not need to have every damn conversation be about women and men and these genders. This is where we stay stuck. So I'm gonna say this, like, do what you can to make an impact. Do what you can to lift somebody up. Go to your local Boys and Girls Club, volunteer, be a mentor. Get one of them young kids that you don't see doing nothing, that you see that maybe look like you or could have been you or whatever. Try to give back. That's what I do every day. That's my job. That's what I do on the weekend. I love what I do. I'm a foster parent. I do everything. So this is my life. I was blessed, so I try to give back as much as I can. And I wish I would have known the tools I know now. But what I do is I spread it to my nieces, my great nieces, and everyone else who will listen. Even if they don't listen, they can't say Queen didn't tell them something if I meet them, if I see them years later. I've run into so many young people that I've worked with who were headaches. And I see them in the community, and the first thing they go is, man, you was hard on me, but I'm so grateful you never gave up on me. Thank you so much. And that's the best reward I can ever get. And these are people and kids of color. So give back. You see a young person, hire them. If you can train them, hire them. Let them be an assistant to you. Let them be an internship. I'm looking at so many ways in which I can give back. So that's what I want to say. Thank you for the topic, and let's not make everything a gender war. This is about financial literacy, not men and women. So love you, Grace.
Thank you for love
What's
you too,
Takashi. Nice seeing
thank you.
again,
Thank you for coming.
And Reckless Ray Janero, I will be looking at your chat to see your little shows she was talking about. And what's up, Black African? On that note, I'm out.
All right, Uncle Ferg, what you got? What say you?
I don't know. What I say might not really have any value, but listen, we're in a peculiar place in America. If you're a young man, look at the career options, start taking advantage of the new technology as it advances. You know, if you want to be in a space of YouTube, learn how to articulate your thoughts, learn how to have tough skin. You don't have to have everything stick to you when people say things from different experiences or similar. A lot of us, you know, we've gone through the same things, but a lot of similar. But here's the one caveat: we still going, we still fighters. So you just got to look at where America is. Start paying attention to America and the globe. This stuff ain't just happening by coincidence. These wars are just not happening by coincidence. It's going to be the same thing that it's always been. Even with the war in Israel, what you think they're going to do with them immigrants? Why they rebuilding that country over? They're going to come right here and take your high-priced apartment. You got to start thinking about the future of the kids. Kids ain't getting nothing in school. We'll teach them at home. You can't say you can't teach them at home because YouTube will sit you and your child down in class and y'all can read together and write and learn how to add. It'll change your life if you just invest a few years into it, regardless of what age you are. If you 21 and over, you have no excuse. Ain't nobody stop you from going nowhere in the world to create financial literacy or understanding for yourself. But if you don't value self, you don't value anything else. But if you want to change your life, now is the time. Now is the time. You want to be in a certain group in your life, you got to start studying that type of group. And not just black or white, study other races. They'll show you how to do it. Because now you learn 10 things instead of 2. But in America, you're going to get limited information being black anyway. That's why some of y'all still can't tie y'all shoes.
They got Velcro now.
Well, I hope they wearing belts because they wasn't wearing 5 years ago, 10 years ago at 40. So, but listen, it's a whole lot of different dynamics that affected us all. But you just have to be bigger than what your circumstance is. It ain't where you're from, it's where you at.
Facts.
Where are you trying to be in the next 5 or 10 years? When you start getting gray hair like me, what are you trying to do?
Or no hair.
That's even better. That's when your stock should go up.
It don't matter now at this point.
But it's my last thing. Listen, man, we got the power to make a change. We really do. We got to stop all this back and forth. We all came from the projects. We all came from well-to-do families. We just who we are. We all got big feet, big noses. Even if you're from Africa, your lips looks the same as mine, Black David. Nose too, ain't no different. We just been over here a little longer than you.
I know.
But we still have the ability to come out of our circumstances as an individual. The young black man, go see the world. Shit, take you a year or 2 to figure it out. Look at a map, an atlas, outside of going around the corner to find the weed man. Go live life like we trying to search for the biggest weed man in the world. Women, so all you gotta do is go back to being natural. You go back to being natural, your life will change. Give your sons to the father. I find the righteous guy. I can't do it after he turned 12. His balls drop. He's seeking another type of listening. You have to give it to him. It'll change your life, I'm trying to tell you. If not, you're going to raise a guy who's always dependent on somebody. You're going to beg his way through life until life catch up at age 40. Because that's when the age of reason kick in. If he ain't done nothing by age 40, he going to live in the poor neighborhoods. You're going to be struggling because ain't nobody saving the brother. But if you want to change it, sisters, go natural. Give the sons to the father. Brothers, keep working through it. Don't let everything stick to you. Step out on your own. Get away from all your family, friends that pass you the blunt and pass you the weed. Clean yourself out. Detox. Learn how to eat. Get all your checkups. And go see the world, man. And come back and tell us all the stories of what y'all did, the people y'all met. Go over to a country where a damn hurricane nine come through. Go over there for 6 months. Go over where they have hurricanes and you see what the people do. You appreciate life a little better. I digress.
Thank you for that, Uncle Ferg, and thank you for the consistent support that you've been showing me ever since we met at Grooming and Reviews that one night, and I really appreciate you. All right, Jay, you're up next.
Oh, all right. Let me not extend this. Like I said, once again, guys, I am sorry. I am tired a little bit, but like I said, man.
You're on mute.
Hey man, listen, I got the same mic as his brother, but hey man.
Yes, sir. You can't touch it. You can't touch it, bro.
Touch this damn shit. Like, I don't know how the hell I've had it for 6 months. Like, come on, man. Come on, Jay. But no. But all seriousness, shout out to Queen, shout out to everybody on this panel. Ray De Niro will be checking out your channel, man, because I'm curious to hear what financial advice you have. That way I can listen to more of those, because I care to listen. I do care.
Absolutely.
It means a lot to me. For my kids and my wife, things of that nature. Well, and guys, when I say that, future kids and wife, I'm not married right now. I'm building myself up. I told you that.
I hear you.
I don't have any kids out of wedlock. I don't have none of that shit. I'm cool. But no. Overall, listen, man versus woman shit, guys, get the fuck out. Get that shit out your head, son. Number one. That's number one. 2, focus on yourself. 3, please, guys, please stay away from fucking social media, guys. If you can actually, I'm gonna say this, if you can actually stay away from your phone more for like more than like 2-3 hours, you will have made some progress at least. I'm giving y'all too much credit when I say 3. You really need to be away from it the whole fucking damn day and read a fucking book. Honestly, that's what I really. I'm sorry, I gotta say that they got to, because they pissed me off with that shit. People can't conversate unless they touching either this, their fucking phone, this shit, or other stuff. And it's like, God, fear me with that shit. Like, I remember kids back in the day that used to be outside. Don't come back on until the street lights come on. I don't want to be. I come from that era, so it's just like, it's so weird, like how we are nowadays. But one of the benefits I'm gonna tell you, learn to the generation. I know you didn't grow up socializing with women or men, and ladies too. But what I'm gonna tell you is, get the fuck away from that social media shit and actually speak to some people, formulate a conversation, and actually start talking. That's simple. And I don't give a damn if he should come up to me and all that shit. Bitch, come. Sorry, I don't use bitch. Lady. Get your ass over there and speak to him. So let me say that, dudes, and I'm gonna get on y'all, because I gotta get on y'all, because y'all men, y'all my gender. Grow fucking backbone, learn actual social cues, and go and speak to that woman. Goddamn, point blank simple. And actually read the signs if she wants you to speak to her. But regardless of anything, speak. And try not. And one more thing, and try to tie your shoes, like he said, so you don't kick your ass while you try to talk to her. That's simple. And the last piece of advice I'm gonna say, listen, man, relationships are a beautiful thing, and it can be a terrible thing at the same time. But they become more negative as we've gotten here. But let me get back to the positive. It's up to us to turn them back into beautiful things of beauty. So like I said, so if you want, and I'm gonna tell this to everybody, says I want this to go back to normal. How about this? You contribute to making it better. I'm giving Grace a solution right now because she wanted to hear solutions. Here's what the fuck you do. You get over your your self-obsessed, crazed ass mentality. You go to a fucking therapist. You work that shit out until they say you're good to go, not till you're good to go. Till they say you're good. That's what I'm gonna say. And then once you come back to society,
wake up, society,
David.
David. Wait, I'm awake. I'm looking for everything.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry about
sorry,
that.
Jay. You fell asleep.
No, yeah, you're fine. No, I said you come out to society, listen, you integrate with other people, and then after that, work on yourself, and then get to seeing someone who finds an interest of what things you like, or you like things that they like. Simple enough. That's how it always starts. Like I said, make an attempt and actually get out there. That's what I'm gonna say. And y'all have a great night, y'all. Well, my bad, morning. Morning over here is 1 a.m. I go to work in about like 8 hours from now, so don't worry.
Hey, that's solid. You got enough time to get some sleep. That's good.
Oh hell yeah. Well,
Jay, thank you for coming. You always got gems to drop, and I want to hear from the younger, you know, from the. Well, I don't know. You could kind of talk like. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 32 years old.
Okay, so you are.
It's about 24. I don't know why they keep telling me that, but that's fine.
All right, so you are right there in that position, because I tell my son he's about to turn 18 in 2 weeks. And I said, your goal now from 18 to 28 years old is to set your foundation, work on yourself, focus on yourself. I'm not telling you to not go have fun. I'm not telling you to go get laid, because as an 18-year-old, his hormones are raging. Just don't make no woman no single mom, and don't bring me no grandbabies for another 10 years. Okay? Be smart about the shit that you do. And that's what, and I got all that shit from Kevin Samuels. It makes sense. From 18 to 28, you should be concentrating on laying your foundation, working 60 hours a week, making that money, grinding, you know? All right, my African king, go ahead and say, what say you?
My final thought was this. When I came on the panel, I wasn't making a beat between male nor female. I was pointing out the obvious issue, which is their ideology, their philosophy about what money really is. That's what creates the problem we have in today's society, because one, unless you're not willing to take the correction and learn how to utilize what money really is and use it for your benefit, that you can pass on to the next generation, then you're refusing to learn what can bring you out of the slump. We need to stop trying to idolize the jokers of the society, which are the entertainers who make you think that you have to live a life based on spending your bag down to the drain. That needs to stop. If you don't waste your money on Uber, get a bicycle. Ride your ass to work. It's healthy, but to save your money. If you don't know how to cook, you could cook, learn from YouTube, learn from TikTok. There's so many platforms where you can learn from. Or rather yet, looking for a class to join up with and learn how to cook from the basics. Stop trying to shit on people who don't want to waste money to go out, for the simple fact they got gold they're trying to build. What I said earlier before is the blunt, unfiltered truth. They go for both sides, both male and female. You picked the wrong section of men. And when I say all men are doing it, that's not going to work with me. For the simple fact, I knew for the fact that a certain section of men have been looked over for more than 4 decades. And when they do that, the next thing want to paint the broad brush and say all men. No, it's not all men. And I hate to say this, before you join a union, get yourself some mentors who can vet your choices and let you know if your choice is fucked up or not. And they go for both men and women, especially women. But in this country full of entitled, mutated hyenas, I will say it again. You're not willing to check and see what you did is wrong, but you're ready to pass blame to somebody else and apply to the male as well. accountability and responsibility is needed. Also with a level of self-awareness. You quick to put out blame about these men who are not men, they're nothing but adult males, they're not men, that change the standards. Recognize when I say that there are men, adult males, and there are boys. The real men, most of these blacks don't chase after them, they chase after adult male. They apply for the men. They don't chase after the women. They chase after the ladies, adult females, and girls. The reason why I say what I said, what Kevin Samuel was teaching, and being taught to us African folk and people from other ethnic groups, we understand it. But when we open our mouth and you want to shut us up, you allow us to get the popcorn ready, get our chair ready, and start laughing at your asses. Biblically speaking, a fool or a stupid person will not take correction. They want to be wise in their own eyes. So that is why I like to step back and watch people make mistakes, because they are too stubborn, too hard-headed to take correction. I've seen this argument, so-called argument about these men and these women. No. It's your stupid ideology that created these problems. Your stubbornness to take correction. You're too damn blind to realize your way of thinking is putting you in this situation in the first place. If you're not willing to wake up and realize I need to change my thinking process, I need to change my ideology, I need to find me a mentor, an older mentor, an elder, yes, who's been there before you, who can teach you the game, then you'll continue repeating the same thing over and over. This black devil on African mode, I have no mercy for stupid people. I'm highly allergic to stupid people. That being said, if you don't like the truth, then jump off the bridge. Thank you.
Alrighty then. With that being said, Ray, I wanted to say thank you again. I mean, you actually canceled your show to come here tonight. I know it can get ratchet sometimes, but hey, it is what it is. It was good conversation, good back and forth. You know, no disrespectful shit, but it got heated and it was good. It was good. Just long, but good. Again, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it, but go ahead. I know you're going to drop some final gems. What say you?
All right. Okay, let's see here. Where are we going to jump in at? I got a list. So we're going to start off hitting these pillars. And I'm going to start with marriage because marriage is important. And the thing that I'm going to posit out here and say to these young men and women is the person that you choose to engage in that contract with, it is the most important person. You are bringing someone into the castle. Men, you are bringing someone into your sanctum. Make sure it's not brute. All right? You don't want to bring them into the council, just end up with a bunch of knives in your back. It's not good. Not good. Because that person can make or break you. And I don't really speak on the hypotheticals. I don't speak on the talking points. I speak on the talking points I've actually seen happen to people in real life. And it's awful. It's awful. And as somebody who has not decided to get married yet, I can understand how people, you see a few of these things go down, could end up in the camp of not wanting to even bother with it because it seems very arduous to allow somebody to come in and wreck your stuff, which rolls over into the prenup conversation. The stuff that you've accumulated, for those of you who are like myself and have established yourself in some form or fashion, protect what you've built. Always. Ladies too. Protect what you either inherited or whatever you walked in with, you should walk out with. Like, that doesn't seem like a hard conversation to have. And honestly, I it's weird because as somebody who, and this is not me flexing, like, I can get dates if I want to. I can date women. Like, it's not an impossible task. Like, I'm not sitting out here just like begging for dates and stuff. When you have options, it's a lot easier to just go ahead and put your standards out there up front to weed out the people that don't need to be there or are there for the wrong reasons. Like, hey, this is what it is. I've already built this. I own all this stuff. You can't have that. I'm not giving it up to have you come in here and potentially just decide one day that you want to be out and you want the cash and prizes that I made. As far as saving, budgeting, and investing, do your research. There's a lot of game out here. There's many ways that you can get this game. There are no excuses for why you can't in 2024 get this game with the internet. If you're on here and we're having a back and forth and we're talking on these shows and you can listen to people like myself, you got people out here, and I mean, you can get all, just stop getting on the internet and filling your brains with useless information constantly. I'm not saying don't have your fun, but like you got shows like Information Man giving you good history facts all the time. You got people giving you financial game like myself. You got Embrace the Grace, where you're getting some fun and some gems over here. You get a little bit of the ratchetness, and then some game while you're at it. We have to start shifting a focus to where education is cool. I'm wearing my shirt tonight specifically for this show. It says the culture needs more squares. Like it does. It does. Like this stuff is dope. Like seeing your bank account increase is dope. Having the ability to not have to live in neighborhoods where the police are actually instituting systemic racism against you. They don't do that everywhere. Newsflash. The other thing, not remove yourselves from your environments, but go into other environments. I'm not even saying leave the country. Go to some different states, because most of y'all are not leaving your block. Y'all ain't leaving the street you on. The furthest you get out is this internet stuff where you can sit here and complain to me about what's going on in the world where you're at. And I'm like, why would you exist there? I don't care what's going on in Biloxi, Alabama, because I wouldn't exist there. I don't drive further south than where I live because I don't want to exist in those situations. So I choose to not be around people that don't want me around them. Like, it's not, I don't see how this is hard. We have freedom of mobility now. Go talk to some people that don't look like you and stop quoting talking points about other cultures that just are blatantly also not true. Like, I get it, but on the same note, I don't get it. It's the same reason I don't go to my stepfather's family reunions in Louisiana. I don't like it down there. I don't like the people. I don't like the white people. I also don't like the black people down there. two of the same sides of the same freaking bird, and I hate them both. Like, I don't like it culturally. Not for me. But I've traveled a bunch of places. I've been around a bunch of other cultures. There are a lot of people who will give you game. When I tell you that I got to where I'm at, money is a team sport. I'm just now, after I've established myself, starting to get black people on my team. No one else who helped me get to where I'm at look like me. Look like anyone on this panel. So for those of you who want to be isolationist and insular, you're just not gonna win. Like historically, we had that time and they crushed it. There's amongst the community, it is going to be very rare to see functional groups of black men that are functional, that actually have the game, that are helping other black men make it on those levels. Just saying. Like, it just don't happen. I don't see it. I've yet to see it. That's the reason we're still referencing LeBron James for everything, and athletes and people that are commodities. You have to, you got to get the game where the game comes from who will give it to you. Because those of us who have the game within the community, y'all don't like us because you don't like how we talk. You don't like how frank we are about things. In regards to moving forward now, I can understand everything that happened. And it's not that I don't care. I'm looking at moving forward and fixing stuff now. None of those people are coming back. They're not coming back. None of those people are going to be able to help us now. because they're gone. They took them from us. We are having to start from scratch. But my question to most of you who are listening is, how many generations are y'all going to start over from scratch just because you're stupid with money? How many times are you going to go, hey, we got somebody in the family that's making $250,000 a year. Yep, they're gone. Nothing. Oh, we're going to start over again. Oh, we got somebody who got to the bag that's now making $100,000 a year. Oh, they're gone. Nothing. How many times are we going to squander everything that we built to rebuild this sandcastle over and over and over again because we don't want to listen to nobody that don't look like us? And the people that look like us don't have the game, or those of us who do, you don't want to listen to. You want to sit and argue with and give me excuses. How long are we doing that? The other thing is, along with the environment and culture shift, we also have to shift the way that we look and talk about money. Most of us are trying to go and do stuff so that we can no longer have to do anything. Most of those people don't actually get wealthy because we're not built to not do anything. The people who win, that really win, and I can tell you, my wealthiest client is a billionaire. Verified. He works more than I do, and I work 60 to 100 hours a week. Now, he gets to work at home. But that man starts his day in his office. He watches his kids. He watches his wife have parties, and everyone gets to play in his pool that he gets to look out on from his office because he is working. He's putting together deals. Dude's doing stuff. If you're not willing to make that kind of sacrifice, it doesn't stop. Like, I understand these YouTube talking points and like these people who get on here that live here are selling this dream. That's not real. Go put yourself around some people that actually got money. You'll find out how much time they actually don't have. There is a sacrifice involved and there's a burden. Nothing's easy. There are no free lunches. That said, if you're willing to work hard and figure out how money works, you can make it happen out of your job. We got game out there for that. You can get to a point to where you have the options to build things. We have to get back to a point to where we are producers. We have to get back to a point to where Black people are actually looking at getting into places of power and not just having money. No one cares if you just have money. That's the reason the Black community is not taken seriously by these politicians now. Because at best, we've been so messed up through all the stuff that we've gone through. Verified. I'll acknowledge it right now. All the stuff that we've gone through, our minds are so messed up that they no longer have to worry about us because 90% of you, actually, I'm going to be honest, 95% of you pose no threat because you're not intelligent enough to do anything besides get some money. You don't know how to wield power. Money is the starting level of power. Money in and of itself is not power. Having sat, and this is the thing, a lot of you have a lot more money than me, but I've sat in those rooms. I've been kept behind for special meetings with politicians that are going to affect where your kids go to school, to make some of those decisions, to advocate for our community, to get shit done. Without complaining, without going to them on some, oh, we's tired, boss. Like, nah, dude, I'm in there. Like, when you get to start seeing how stuff actually works and how people actually meet people, which is not just going, hey, this person's rich. It's going, hey, this person needs to be in our cipher. This person needs to be in our circle. Matter of fact, I need you to meet this person because you'd be a good advisor for him. You've got good ideas. I like where your head's at. We're not going to cry our way into getting into a position of power. We must take it. We must change the way that we look at things, and we have to understand that as we are churning out these people who are getting to the bag, because you need to do that to have the options. But that's level one when you're talking power. You are at the bottom of a different game at that point. And until we do that, as far as the community is concerned, absolutely nothing is going to change because we're not playing the game. We're not in it. We are not in it. And we have to get ownership. Those are things that we need to go after. We have to stop allowing people to get basket weaving degrees. We have to have focus. We need lawyers so we can fight these cases. We need doctors so that we can stop complaining about the medical system. We need nurses. Now, y'all are good at being nurses. We got that covered. But we need to have people go to school. If you're going to go to college, if you're going to send your kid to college, that needs to be the stipulation. You will be useful to society, to this family, to the culture. When we get to that point, then I'll be on board with like, let's go and move the culture forward, because at that point a culture will exist that I want to be a part of. But until then, I'm going to rock it out with my family, and then we'll extrapolate out from there. And those of you who want to tap in with me, Reckless Ray Dinero, to get this game, do it, because we building over here. Peace.
I know that's right. All right. Well
said.
You dropped some gems like I knew you would. Now I have a question for you though. So are you saying if you can't beat them, join them? Learn the game and master the game.
What I'm saying is two things can be true at the same time, but my question is this. The people who are saying that we needed to change, like in any system that you're in, you do not want to be at the bottom of that system, because then we can change the system. There's a bunch of stuff that we could do to make improvements in this great country that we live in. Mm-hmm. But if your only crux is that I suck at this, so I want to change it, that's a different conversation. Should we? Sure, there's a bunch of improvements that we could make, but you shouldn't be doing it from the bottom. Why would you suffer ceaselessly while complaining? That's just a bad life. All you're doing is having a bad life. You're having a bad existence, and you're going, well, if the game was different, it'd be better. No, it wouldn't. Not for you specifically, because you're at that point, if that's your existence, you are a certified loser. That means that no matter what system you're in, you're just going to lose. There's people that just can't help but to lose. There's always been people at the bottom of every system and every society that's ever existed. Always. And matter of fact, it's the vast majority of people. So if we live in a system that, as flawed as it is, affords the ability for peasants to change and not be peasants, that's a new opportunity that most places don't have. Go to any other country and not be from that country. There are limits on how far you can move up in those ecosystems unless you show up rich. People come here to get rich, to go back to where they came from, because the opportunities where they came from did not exist. But if they come here and they can get the bag, then they can go back and have a better life. That's the come up for a lot of people who come to this country. So if you can't figure out how to navigate this system specifically, which is the best one that's ever existed, the best one to date, that can be improved, absolutely. But to sit there and be like, well, I'm a loser, so I just want the game changed for me, like, I can't get behind that. I can't. Because it's just like, well, if we change it, then you're just going to be lazy in that system, and most of the time, it's people that would rather it be worse for everyone so that I can just drag everyone down to my level of hell versus I want us all to exist in heaven. They don't want everybody to win. They're miserable, and they want everyone to be miserable with them so that they can be like, well, at least I took something from that guy at the top. He's winning less now. As opposed to putting in the work to just make your situation better. Because when you zoom out and look at the whole, it's a daunting task to become wealthy. The hardest amount of money that I made was $10,000. The first $10,000 I made was the hardest amount of money I ever came into. That's my savings game now for opportunities. I continually just save up $10,000. The initial first $10,000 when I started out at 25 that I didn't get until I was about, I'd say probably about 30, 31. Hardest amount of money I ever pieced together was looking at that. Because looking at the whole 10 was a pain, like, especially when you're starting from a bank account, when your mindset is my bank account's always at zero. That's impossible to go, I'm going to get $10,000. That's the reason I tell people, I'm like, don't even do that. Like, if your bank account's zero, the game for you is to save $100. Start there. And then the next level of that game is to save $500. Like, you do not go from zero to where I'm at. You don't do that. This has been over a decade of work. A decade. And it's just now starting to pay off. Of hard work.
I hear you.
Like, there's no shortcut. There's no easy, like, even the people who come into the crypto space and be like, oh, I'm going to go make a bunch of money on a meme coin. They don't keep it. They don't even, like, you're not built to have money yet. The process is the process for a reason. You got to learn the game. Now, you can accelerate that by tapping in with people and actually being able to do stuff. But, like, the reality of the situation is you're going to lose money. It's not going to feel good. Like, I lost over $60,000 over the course of 2 weeks. It didn't feel good. But you got to go be in the market and make it back. Like, it's just what it is. Like, that's what that space is. High volatility. Something that I didn't think was gonna fall through, fell through. Took whole companies with it. It's what it is. Like, you're going to have failure. You're going to have to persevere through it. And I'll tell you what, that's where you're going to learn the most. That's where I learned where my greed was. I was like, hey, if something's going well, I get real greedy with it. I need to not do that ever again. That was expensive. Like, for something to not work, because I was like, hey, we eating over here. Throw all the money in there. Like, it's none of this is easy and none of it's overnight. People tell me I'm lucky. I'm like, yeah, 10 years later. They were telling me I was stupid 10 years ago.
Yeah, but look at you now.
Yeah, 100%. But then now it's like, oh, well, you're lucky. Oh, well, that's fortunate for you. Like, fortunate for me that I took every single dollar out of my 401k and threw it into something that I believed in while everyone was telling me not to do it and I was stupid. Okay. Scraping change off checks because I didn't have expendable money and my savings rate was not at the space that it was now because I was still sorting my financial situation out. That's lucky. Like, no, you put in the work and then people say that you're lucky so that they don't have to feel bad about their lack of action. Because it's hard to be around the sun. I cast long fucking shadows and I don't take excuses.
Oof.
Like,
I hear you.
It's what it is, man. It's just, there's too many people that care. You got Embrace over here who did a whole show on this. We've been here for what? Over 5 hours now.
Yeah.
Because she cares. You have people that are putting out the game. Now, me personally, I'm a weirdo. I just like doing this. Like, because I'm gonna be up anyway. So, and I like documenting the journey. Like, I'm documenting what I'm doing. Like, I'm not rich yet. We getting there. We probably gonna, I mean, honestly, this bull run, I will be classified as rich this bull run. But I don't, like, I'm not somebody who sits out here. I'm the only person who's out here that talks about finance, that tells everybody I'm in the trenches with you. I'm not making over 6 figures right now. I just know how money works. Oh, you can't have a house. I do, though. Like, oh, you can't not have debt. Like, I select how much debt I get to have every year. I do, though, because I use all of the tools that I go over on my channel, and it accelerates wealth building. And it's not doing it and leveraging myself to the hilt to where, like, if something bad happens, I couldn't pay it back. I don't use my investments to pay any of the debt that I take out to buy investments back. I use my paycheck to pay that back because those dollars are cheaper. Like, the stuff that I'm talking about, I'm not talking about it from on the mountain. I don't have my Porsche yet. Might be getting it this year. but like, you know, like, if you're focused in and you're actually using every tool available and you shift your perspective a little bit, because I do go out, I do have fun. It's just not prioritized over me getting wealthy. I would not want to go on umpteen vacations that show you guys pictures from the beach and then have to continue working. Or another one that I get hit with all the time, which is, if crypto's doing so well and you're making so much money, why don't you quit your job? Because I would have to go back at a certain point. I deal in permanence. The stuff that messes with people's heads is going, oh, I'm never coming back in here, and then having to turn around, show up with your hat in hand to go get that job back because you thought you was doing something that wasn't sustainable. Gotta do the math. Finance is a game of basic math. It's not even complex math. It's basic math. And it's fun once you start seeing some numbers change.
I hear you, Ray. Again, thank you so much. Okay, so to all my embracers, these are my final thoughts. And I write down my final thoughts too, even before the show is over, before it starts, because I got what I want to say. I understand that everybody was taught or not taught financial literacy. However, how long are we going to use that as an excuse and or make excuses and have this slave mentality? Couple needs and need to want and understand that financial intimacy is an essential component of relationship. Period. Both partners must be in alignment to create a healthy financial relationship with trust at the care. It takes teamwork, because teamwork makes the dream work. As always, guys, embrace yourself and embrace each other. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for coming out. This was awesome. Maybe I'll have a show about strictly credit, because a lot of people really don't understand credit. They don't understand utilization. They just think, oh, I pay my bill on time every month. That's not enough. That's not enough to be able to go in a desk and take out a stack of credit cards like this for emergency purposes only. Just to know, hey, I got to rent a car real quick. Boom. Somebody passes away. I got to buy an airplane ticket. Boom. I'm there. You know, my cousin Ray from Michigan, he in jail. Okay. Boom. Pay the bail. I mean, you just got to be prepared for life. And unfortunately, in this world that we live in, it takes money to do everything. It takes money. I work hard, but I play hard. I spend money, but I'm always thinking about replacing that money, you know? So with that being said, you guys have an awesome night. I'm going to go unwind a little bit and do a 12-hour shift tomorrow. Okay? Thank you, guys. Take care. I really, really appreciate it. Let me get my little outro that JBJ Network has for me. Give me just a second. Here we go. Where you at? There it is.